What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Celtic Warrior Shane.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Hello?
Howdy. Howdy there, partner.
You guys hear me in the chat?
Oh, yeah.
In the
Chat.
chat, let us know if you guys can hear Marsh.
Whoa. So they didn't hear that bit. Or maybe should we wait? Uh-oh. You think it has to do with Zoom?
Oh, hello, small kitty.
That looks really funny, Klump.
What?
I didn't. You couldn't see the kitty, and you were just like petting air. It was really
Cool.
cute.
I can hear you. Yes, you are my little. Yeah, you guys are still good on my end. Yeah.
Yeah, in the chat, if you guys could, let us know if you can hear him.
Yeah. I'm renaming you Steven.
I'm gonna go off camera for a momento.
Oh, yeah. Still good. Yeah.
I can still hear.
No problem.
If you guys can hear Marsh, please let us know. We are having
This is remarkable.
probably the worst set of technical difficulties that we've ever had. Yeah, I'm getting 2 no's right now. Sorry, guys.
I'm more of an ears guy myself.
Yeah, this is actually much more than normal. We're normally not this horrible, but it is our first episode, so I guess there's that excuse.
Yep. Still got you.
Yep.
Still good on my end, homie.
Good on my end. You just don't see me eating ravioli.
Yeah. 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 I love that. Like, wait, shit, you can? Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I always hear like a boom.
Still.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Sound the
No.
same.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little distant, but not, but it's the same.
Yeah.
No.
I have shitty ears, so it's good on my end.
Well, I'm on my iPad Air.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mhm.
105. Same.
You sound better.
Okay, so Amanda, how does it sound to you?
Speak, Marsh. Speak. You sound better. You sound better.
You sound louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Louder. Mhm.
On our end, everything looks good. I feel like Streamlabs is doing something weird.
It doesn't like Zoom, maybe. Interesting. Oh. Mm. Man, just so y'all know, as I'm eating my ravioli, you're now making me buy stuff at Amazon that's kind of stupid and frivolous. Like they have a little pink mini like convection oven that's only like $25, and I kind of want to buy it. What am I going to do with it?
Cat. I support buying it, Amanda. Yep, still here.
If you guys can hear Marsh in the chat, please let us know. I don't know. Our chat's not really responding just yet. But also let us know if you can hear Marsh.
We can't see. No, can't see the screen, bro.
How hard?
Maybe we're not supposed to get it.
All right, so Marsh is going to get some more, I don't know, technology. But anyway, we are sponsored by Flow State Coffee, New Wave Coffee. It's excellent. It's got raw cacao and theanine, and you can get subscriptions, and it's awesome. That's my sponsorship. This is why I don't do them.
You're like, okay, that's it. Yeah. Well, thank goodness we don't have like Blue Chew doesn't sponsor us, because God, that would be very awkward. If you had to.
You'll get. Speaking of a long, hard time, BlueChew.com.
Oh,
Roll.
God.
You Lord have mercy on us all.
BlueChew.com. Have Lord Matt.
Can anyone hear Marsh now? All right, I'm sorry, guys. We are going to have to quit Streamlabs and figure this out, because this is not how it shows, how our show's supposed to go.
Yep.
We'll be back in a quick sec, guys. I mean, wait, could I host it?
Oh my God.
Well, we could. I've been saying I don't need to be on the. You know, we could just have Marsh on. So hold on, guys. Hold on.
Okay,
Doing
hold
it.
in. Hold in.
Cut out.
Do you want me to stop and just start?
No.
Okay.
Still catch it.
Well, then don't.
Maybe we could.
Now, talk.
Hello?
Can everyone hear Marsh?
Can anyone
Yes.
hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear Klump
Hello
now.
there.
What's going on now? Well, you're gonna need to set
Loud and clear.
loud and clear. That works. Oh,
Yeah,
You know
you're coming
why?
through great.
What?
because I'm coming in as the fucking producer. I'm all like with a headset on. I feel like Top Gun right now. Let's do it.
That's me every fucking week, turd.
Watch it.
Yeah, dude, you look like a dipshit. What?
This cable is.
Damn.
So watch your movements here, because you don't want to unplug it and bring this down.
What? It's pulling on it?
Yes, when you move that way more. So.
Well, but this is where the camera
Be
is.
careful, is what I'm saying.
Maybe I'll move the this up and over.
Yeah, okay. Well,
And then there we go.
Still be careful.
Now I don't have to be careful at all.
Oh my god.
Klump,
Yes, sir.
I didn't mean it. You don't look like a dipshit. You look more like a douchebag. And now we look like douchebags together.
I was actually looking at getting like a blue mic or something like that, because I feel like this is the one thing I don't like about this is the headset now.
Now I feel like I need to put on my headphones, but I don't know where they are. But
Oh, yeah. Well, now we just all look like we're gaming. Now it looks like we're mocking the Twitch streaming community.
yeah.
I mean, I could turn my RGB up so it glows more.
What?
We're not.
Yeah, we're not. We're not intentionally making a mockery of Twitch
No.
and the Twitch community, but
No.
it definitely looks that way right now.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Twitch. Don't be mad at us for.
Yeah. We're not making fun of you. We are one of you. All right. All right, guys. I'll leave most of that in, but I am going to do a new intro. Guys, welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show because we can't move on to our second show until we get the first show right. And if there's anything we know so far about this very show, it's as episode 1 as you get. This couldn't look more amateur hour, and that's what we're here to do. Be amateurs, have drinks, hang out with our drinking buddies, and get mad about wrestling for no good reason at all. Guys, I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR the show. With me this week, we got Miss Amanda Jane. Say hello.
Hello. Hold on. I should probably put my video on. Hello.
How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah, same old, same old.
What do you mean you can hear me?
I can hear you.
The show.
Oh, coming through?
Yes.
Klump, welcome back. You haven't been on in like a month. How's it going, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you guys doing? Glad to be on. Got a new setup and a new place to podcast from. Yeah.
I know. It looks good, dude. You're coming in
Mickey
so
Mouse.
crisp. I love it. I love it. All right, let's see. Just in Time says, damn, I arrived to technical difficulties. Forget taking a drink. Just down that shit immediately. Yeah, if you show up and we're in the middle of trying to figure out how to make sound happen, then yeah, it's bottoms up. Bottoms up and early,
Yep.
Makes it sound like evolution. We're trying to make sound happen.
Yes, we're trying to make sound happen.
It's like making fetch happen.
Yes, it's
not
just
good.
like making fetch happen. And it's not going to happen, is the thing. Secondly,
And
it's
it didn't.
like radioactive, man. Up and at them.
Up and at them.
Oh my god, guys, I don't know about you, but I definitely need a drink. I am having right now vodka from Dripping Springs and a load of my keto soda. I'm having that. What do you have? What's in your glass, Klump?
What the fuck is keto soda?
Dude, it's so good. It's KOIOS. It's called Your Brain's Best Friend, Kios. I'm having pear guava soda. It's got nootropics and electrolytes, MCT oil, and lion's mane. It's naturally flavored pear
Ew.
guava. What do you mean, ew?
Ew. Lion's mane? What the?
What flavor do you think lion's mane has?
Imagine it
It's
tastes
probably
somewhat like
pink.
balls and cat litter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
it's
dirt.
flavorless. It's like iocane powder.
That tastes like balls and cat litter.
No, it doesn't. Well, maybe if you're Sicilian.
God damn it.
Okay.
What?
Oh.
I'm just saying, you thought
Well,
you knew. You
To
didn't
answer
know.
your question, I got some Liquid Death sparkling water, which is blurring out. Yeah.
Really? Liquid Death makes a sparkling water?
They do.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
I would not recommend it, but I got a lot.
Is it like not tasty, or is it like, does it, I mean, why?
It's not sparkly enough. It's
Okay.
It's like if you opened up like a bottle of Perrier and then it closed it like 6 hours later.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, there's some fizz here, but it doesn't taste bad at all. It's just, it's not, I want my sparkling water to hurt.
Yeah. Where it like burns your throat a little bit. So,
Exactly.
I mean, but what makes, like Liquid Death, I thought the whole point of that was just the amount of caffeine in the coffee, right?
No. The Liquid Death is it's a water brand.
It's a water brand that makes coffee? I thought Liquid Death was a coffee.
No,
Yeah, I thought so too.
I think you guys are thinking of it's
Another death.
yeah, it's like a death related like coffee thing. No, this is like, it's owned actually by Joe Magnaca, the Sofia Vergara's husband. They just make like water.
So why is it called Liquid Death?
Ask him.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm so confused. I thought it was coffee this whole time. Every time I saw the cans, I was like, oh, look at those guys drinking coffee. How nice. That looks good. I'll try it. Do you know how disappointed I'd be if I opened up a can of coffee and got water? I'll be honest. I'm pretty pissed.
I mean, yeah, I've had those moments too where it's like, I might hurt someone.
Yeah. Amanda, what's in your drink? What's in your glass? What are you doing?
Oh, of course, I have the sponsored, not sponsored. And because, it's been a hell of a week, there's quite a bit of Malibu in this.
Hell yeah. Get it while you can. Let's see. Grim says it sounded like an advertisement. Could be. Let's see. Kuro's showing up in the chat. Kuro, thanks for coming through. Cheers to you. He says he's in Vegas right now. We're going to be in Vegas on Friday night, late Friday night. We'll be there for Saturday for SummerSlam, but we're heading back on Sunday, so maybe we can bump into you. Otherwise, if you're there now, are you going to be at the GCW show? Because if you are, you definitely got to go over there and say hi to Stackhouse. Woo, woo. Friend of the show. Sam Stackhouse will be on the GCW show this Friday in Vegas. So if you are there, definitely cheer loudly for him.
Check him out.
Wear your Wrestling on the Rocks t-shirt, which I'm pretty sure you don't have. So make one and tell him what's up. He said, Grim says, future Hall of Fame Pat McAfee endorses Liquid Death all the time. And I thought it was coffee. I was like, oh, Pat McAfee likes coffee. I'm fucking distraught right now. So, all right.
Oh.
Well, guys, you want to get into it? We're a little behind on scheduling due to producer mistakes.
No.
What?
No.
I'm sorry, you're not mic'd. It's not.
They can still hear me.
I don't know, but that's true.
They can.
Yes.
It seems hard to know with certainty.
Can you do the show?
I was trying, and then you came over and wanted to do a thing, and
Oh my god.
you're yelling about it.
You see what I have to put up with, guys?
Yeah, you see why the show's derailed again?
No.
You see why the show's at a standstill?
No, because
Do you guys see that?
Because this is my
Yeah.
protest. Because I'm protesting.
Man says yep. Oh my god.
Protest will bring us down. See?
Just in time coming through and just dishing out those gift tiers subs.
Woohoo!
Cheers to ya. Cheers to just in time.
Thank you.
Nice.
Honorable, man. Man, I got like shit all over the place now because trying to get that shit to work. All right, well, here we go. Grim Reaper says, yes, we can hear the producer lady. The house mic is on. I don't know what mic you guys don't hear. Oh, my God. I don't know. I don't get it. Here we go. Guys, this show is so professional. We have sponsors. That's right. We got Flow State Coffee, specialty grade coffee with L-theanine and rocket cow for productivity and creativity. Gives you better energy, focus, and mood than a regular cup of coffee while decreasing the negative side effects like anxiety and blood pressure. Go to newwave.co, NOOWAVE.co, and use the promo code CHEERS for 10% off. 10% off whatever they got going on over there. Let's see. You guys want to talk news? Amanda, you had some news that you were checking out earlier.
Oh yeah, I was checking out quite a bit. Should I start?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of shows coming up or whatever, something.
Yeah. Well, I just saw, and I lost my mind, is Murder Grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki, is coming to America. again. Doing GCW, doing my home promotion, West Coast Pro. Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. I mean, it's not like I've not seen him. I've seen him wrestle. I love him, but he scares me, and I've run away from him.
Is he going to be at the GCW show in LA?
I'll tell you right now what he's going to be at. Hold on.
Forget what that
He's going to be
called.
at quite a few shows on the West Coast. Murder Grandpa. Okay, hold up. Oh, yes. He returns to GCW for not just one, not two, not three, but four. Big shows. 9/17 in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Tickets. I don't think the tickets are on. Well, no, the tickets are on sale.
Those tickets
If you're
are
in
on
New York, 9/24 on sale today. Well, anyways, real New Yorkers can go. Bishop, I guess you can go. Just don't piss off Murder Grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll kill you.
There's a really good chance we're going to be at that one in LA. There's a really good chance we'll be there.
Yeah. Or you have 10/10 in Atlantic City and 10/23 in Los Angeles. So feel free to select whichever one you'd like. Also, check your local indie, because they might actually have him book him on this tour, because my local indie is getting him, and I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pander him. I'm going to wear my Hello Kitty Minoru Suzuki shirt. Yeah, I'm going to pander him. Totally.
That'll be good.
And then I'll run away. I will run away because he scares me. He smiles, and then I can't.
And just in time said the GCW made the announcement that they're going to have Fatu versus Dickinson. He said, gives me all that. I'm seeing right now, too, that 2 hours ago they announced they signed Juventud versus Ninja Mac versus Van de Griff versus Trey versus Eli versus Riley. It's a huge, crazy big match, but it's funny they got Juventud on there.
Yeah.
But that's coming up. Anything else that you had you were looking at?
That was like the major stuff, but there was a lot of good wrestling this weekend, on the front of, New Japan in LA at the Coliseum, where they had the Olympics a long time ago, 84. Yeah. And then we had AAA too, with another old guy, Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair made his return to the ring, it looks like. There's a lot of speculation he's actually going to get in the ring and have a full match. And then I guess Darby Allin online made some sort of little promo thing where he alluded to the idea of Sting and Darby versus Flair and Andrade.
Oh. Darby Allin's a little shit stirrer.
I think that there's partly that as well. Did you guys see the clip of Ric Flair in AAA?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of it?
It is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's like, okay, we know you were released from WWE because you want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, I nothing shocks me anymore. However, it would be more interesting about his daughter, since we're talking about her old man, the dating old man. Not the,
Yeah, we'll see what happens when her contract's up, where she ends up. I don't know. I'm curious if everyone's over there. It would be a little bit weird for her not to, but at the same time, she's got literally no reason to complain about WWE or placement there or anything like that. She's literally just setting all sorts of records and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't moved. What just fell? Oh,
Ghost.
oh,
nice.
Yeah, there's a ghost.
Klump, did you see the clip of Ric Flair in AAA?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
We try so hard to protect this old motherfucker, and yet he does time and again, try and just get his ass killed.
Well, there's that.
I get it, the business is in him. He wants to be in it in some capacity. He doesn't want to just ride off into the sunset, and I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a positive, really, for him to be doing this like he is. He gets in there, and I think of the amount of surgeries and that he's had in the past couple years, and that the dude's got an ostomy bag and stuff like that, and I'm like, shit, this may not be good.
Dude, tell me if I'm just being a total dick and I'm off on this one. But it really feels to me like the fandom is patronizing Ric Flair at this point. He's become this, quote, cute old man who just doesn't know when to quit, and everybody's laughing at him. I feel like and I feel like we're pretending that it's out of respect. Because we go, well, he can do whatever he wants. Oh, he's Ric Flair. Oh, am I going to tell Ric Flair no? I think you do to protect him at some point. Because he will keep going till he won't stop, and it didn't look good. It looked awful. I don't think anyone looked good in that clip. No one. I think it looked awful. It looked sloppy. He looked terrible, and I think that everyone's pointing and laughing at him and saying, but it's Ric Flair, so it's respect. And I feel like it's patronizing, and I feel like it's actually very disrespectful the way that we're allowing him to do whatever he wants.
Yeah. I think what it is, too, is that, and it's not just in wrestling, in media, like Ric Flair is Ric Flair. And I feel like he's more aware now of that, you know, in so many things. Like in hip hop, Ric Flair's been referenced time and again for the better part of 3 decades.
Yeah.
And now it's really coming back up, you know, most notably with Ric Flair Drip, but there's so many references to him. And I think it's just him wanting to be in that cultural moment. But yeah, it doesn't look good. And
I think there's limitations, right? Like doing those songs is cool. Putting him in music videos, cool. Those are celebrations and stuff. But literally having him go into the ring, throw terrible looking chops, have a really tough time actually putting the figure 4 on somebody, he was at a position where they kicked him out of the ring and he couldn't even start to stand up. You see him start a little bit and he ultimately rolls out because he can't stand. There's a certain point where it's all like, we're not showing a respectful side of him by letting him literally do whatever. We're not celebrating him. We're patronizing him. Okay.
Like, it's like Iron Sheik at WrestleMania 17. It's like, yeah, this is cool and all, but maybe we don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're saying there's reverb from another mic being on potentially. I've unplugged everything that has any audio, and all the mics that were on were the ones that you said you couldn't hear me out of, so I don't know. But if I'm coming in with reverb and they're not, though, then it wouldn't be from my headphones. Let's see. Jeremy does say, my biggest worry with his release was that he would feel free enough to do some more matches. It worries me, the possibilities. I'm 100%. That's where I'm at. I don't feel like there's anybody in AEW who tells anybody no. So I think he's absolutely going to end up in a match, and it's going to be terrible. And we're all going to clap and say, it's Ric Flair. Let him do what he wants, right? And I'm just going to
No.
I just don't think it looks good. I think it's shitty, man.
Yeah.
And I get it. People are all like, we're showing him respect by letting him do this. And like you said, he wants to be a part of it. And I think there's a way to be a part of it without having to actually look like a cartoon of yourself, look like a parody of yourself. It reminds me of when you see old men hit on like way too young women, like 20s. You know what I mean? Like the old men who will flirt with girls at the checkout counter and wink at them, and then the girls just laugh and be like, he's just an old man.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it feels like when we let him wrestle and we let him get in the ring and do stuff. It's just people just winking at him and being like, he's just a crazy old man. He's harmless. What's he going to do? But really, it's like, no, he's trying to do that thing.
Yeah. No, I think it comes out of like AEW's a nostalgia act in so many ways. I mean, it's funny when we compare that to WWE, which is a nostalgia act too for cheap pops, but they build their own shit sometimes. This is like, we just keep building up these people that really don't have a lot of space just being there. You know?
It's true too.
Like Sting, they've done some stuff with him and it's not been too bad, but it's also been hella protecting him.
Yeah.
Like and the idea of him being in a ring, I don't know if I want to see that. Yeah. Or fuck Big Show. I mean, Big Show, Paul White can go. He can move around. He can do stuff. But I don't know how good it's gonna be because the last couple things he did, you could see it, and there's nothing wrong with aging off into the sunset, being part of this. We're not expecting JR to go and take bumps in the ring right now.
Yeah.
He can do a lot of things, and yeah, we need to position. This is awesome. You're fantastic. You always have a space in this industry and in our company, but you do not belong in the ropes. If Mick Foley came out and did it, it'd be the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I haven't actually liked almost anything they've done with Sting. I've sort of liked things here and there. But I think that their use of almost all the legends there is probably as respectful as Tony knows how to be. And it's all like, all of them are very, very protected. But I mean, you even have Jake Roberts. He just signed another multi-year deal, and he shows up once a month to cut 3 sentences in a promo, and Lance takes back over. It's like, I don't know why he's there. But it's also, what?
Or Dry Hump Brandy.
Or Dry Hump Brandy. That was a delight. But, like, I just don't know what... I mean, but I don't know what else you do with them outside of stuff like that. If part of this is just like, hey, we want to pay these guys as much as we can, I don't doubt any in my mind at all that Ric Flair wasn't offered money by Tony to come over, and it was a crazy amount, and he said to Vince, I'd like to go do that. And Vince is like, yeah, you should just go do that. It's a shitload of money. But like Jeremy says in the chat, WWE has the decency to tell people who aren't in wrestling condition no to a return. And that's true. Even as much as you want to talk about how shitty some of Goldberg's matches have been, realistically, the only one that was actually garbage was the Saudi Arabia one. And it's because he concussed himself immediately. It wasn't that he wasn't in wrestling condition when he got there. It's he wasn't in wrestling condition moments after the match started.
I don't know why that makes me giggle so much.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he wasn't in wrestling condition to start. He did that.
Yeah, he did that right away. And you're all like, well, fuck.
Well,
yeah.
And it speaks to... I think what's weird with Ric Flair when I think about it, and maybe... So Ric Flair, his career is told in 2 stories, or like 2 big stages. One, when he barely started out when he was above 300 pounds and when he was a big bruiser. Then plane crash. And then he had to change everything he did because to wrestle, he had to lose like 100 pounds. And he defined his career. That second part is what we all think of. Nobody thinks of Ric Flair looking like Dusty Rhodes because he looked like Dusty Rhodes when he was a big boy.
Yeah.
We think of Ric Flair doing the technical moves. And maybe that's all we need. We don't need more. But also I wonder, is it him trying to write that third chapter that he thinks he can do more? And really, he can't. He shouldn't, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even when you think about it, I feel like WWE knew that Ric Flair couldn't even take bumps very well anymore. Like, the last time we saw him take a bump was against Randy when Randy curb checked him or whatever, stomped him, and they had the lights flicker. So you didn't actually have to. He didn't actually have to bump. You just had to lay down.
Yeah, Randy protected the fuck out of him.
Yeah, and it looked great. So it's kind of like, yeah, I just when I watched it, I was like, this is embarrassing and this is sad. And people celebrating it feel like, to me, it's mocking him, and I think that sucks because it feels like they're patronizing him and they're being disrespectful because no one has enough respect to tell him that it's going to be bad, that that's not the thing to do. You know what I mean? I mean, and even actually, Jeremy brings up a good point. We'll talk about it. He said Flair should have called it after his retirement at WrestleMania 24, but his TNA run proves that Flair ultimately doesn't know when the end is the end. And Flair has said that in interview after interview after interview. He always says he regrets having gone to TNA and he wished he stopped at 24. He wished that was truly the end and he never went back in the ring. So if this is actively a thing that's going on, it's like he's already said, I don't know how to stop. I wish I could. I wish I would have, but I just don't know how to, and it's bad. It's not good. And people are just going to be like, oh, out of respect, we're going to let you keep shitting on your own fucking legacy. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it really tarnishes his legacy. He's always going to be Ric Flair. He shows up in commercials, we'll love it. He shows up on a robe on a talk show, we'll love it. But he doesn't need to be falling over in a ring.
No, not at all. Like, I think he really does it. I mean, I just think about this and I get kind of like more and more frustrated in how it's done and why it's done. You know, I think also, okay, and I meant to throw this out a while ago, but I think what's particularly annoying to me is if this was in WWE, if this was Ric Flair coming out again, we'd have endless comments about, oh wow, Raw or SmackDown, they're just focusing on nostalgia, because whenever they pull out Bill Goldberg, whenever they pull out, if Brock comes back, it's going to be this like, well, we're going to nostalgia again.
And let's think about it realistically. On that note, you have Goldberg come back and he gets a title shot 1 month, and everyone talks about how it's taking someone else's spot for a month on one show. If you are a talent that's not good enough to get on next year's SummerSlam because Goldberg was on this year's SummerSlam, I don't feel that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I mean, look at Ziggler. Goldberg needed to come in for a SummerSlam match, and Ziggler, I mean, I don't know how it goes in the backstage. Ziggler's like, let it be me. Put me on SummerSlam. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. And he made an absolute show of it, and it was incredible. Maybe my favorite Goldberg match of all time is against him and Ziggler. With as good and brutal as like that Orton one was, and how quick that Brock Lesnar one was, that was a shock. I think the one I've had the most fun watching ever was him and Ziggler.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And he's there to put over Lashley. Probably. I guess it's not necessarily. But, I mean, you've got Lashley and Goldberg in the same light. Who else is on Lashley's level right now? And how much have they been saying that they're worried about the idea of Lashley being a believable champion right now? Feeding him a Goldberg only stands to help Lashley, a new talent, relatively. A new champion. You know what I mean? Who's still sort of finding his footing. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's the same.
Well, I think one thing WWE's done very well with Goldberg is, realistically, Goldberg as a nostalgia act has had a longer career than Goldberg as Goldberg.
That's a good point.
He really has. But he's done so well, and by keeping him kind of in and out, he takes spots from people on also B pay-per-views. And I know that sounds shitty to say, but to me, it's weird that SummerSlam's one of them. But I'm cool with him appearing on like Money in the Bank, on Backlash, Wrestling.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell. Just the other ones. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, as far as Flair goes, I don't get a good feeling from it. I get the feeling like I'm watching someone being made fun of and they don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You remember that kid in school where you'd watch all these kids and they're all laughing, and one guy was like the one they're all making fun of, but they didn't realize it, and you had to you just felt bad for that kid, like, oh, they're all just mocking him because they can, and they think it's funny that he doesn't get it. Like that's what it feels like when I watch Ric Flair do shit like this. It sucks. I don't want to feel that way.
The thing that's like beyond that too, every promotion's doing this shit, and I feel like AEW, Impact, and AAA do it the worst.
Yeah,
like New Japan does it too. Like we've seen Yuji Nagata matches recently. We've seen, like people that, wow, this guy's had a long career, and they appear, or they come out and they retire, but they keep them kind of in a spot where they're still workable. Yeah. Or they appear in the New Japan Rumble before Wrestle Kingdom, which is where you do that. You bring people back in the Royal Rumble. You don't bring them in.
Oh yeah.
Highlight this main event thing, but beyond Ric Flair, you have Conan, who keeps appearing and doesn't look great. Like he's a mic person only, but he gets his happy ass in the ring every once in a while and does something. You have Haku, who, that's cool. Yeah, he's tough, but do we need to see him interfering in matches?
Yeah. And
doing stuff, because he looks like shit. He doesn't look like Haku. He looks like, like people's dads I went to school with. And I'm not saying that in a shitty way, but it doesn't add to the legacy. It doesn't add to it when you're doing it so much. And I feel annoyed because if WWE or when WWE does it, they get shit on tremendously, but everyone else is fucking doing it too.
Yeah, they do, and they do it with talent who can do it. Watching Ric Flair and watching all the guys do this shit, it feels a lot like a local show. It makes it feel more indie to me, because it feels like, oh yeah, we can spend a couple thousand, have Ric Flair come out, give our guy a couple of chops, and be done. You know what I mean? And then yeah, everyone here in the VFW is gonna love it. Like, that's what it feels like when I see shit like this. And it's feeling more and more like indie bullshit all the time. Which, I mean, is fun when you go, but it's not what I expect on TV. If I'm watching TV and I think, oh, this is just like what I see at the VFW, I think it's a problem. You know what I mean?
It's awesome when Jim Duggan does a stand-up set before as part of the indie show, then comes out at the indie show. That's awesome. But I don't want to see that on national television in a week's going on storyline.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, let's keep it moving. Amanda, was there anything that you wanted to throw in there that we shutted you out on?
Yeah, the only other thing was, I guess there's 2 belts in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but trying to make it as positive as I can because, But, I don't know.
Do you think, because Ospreay came back, and he had vacated the title due to neck injury, and there was a ton of speculation on the fact that he might sign with another company because they vacated it because he left, and he said he was leaving New Japan, if I remember right.
Yep.
The fact that he's back and saying he's like the champion that never was uncrowned or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that is a pivot, that his intention was to sign somewhere else and he just didn't or couldn't?
Yeah, I think so. No one wanted him. Why? There's a reason. When people don't sign you, there's a reason. Like, for example, people who've been on AEW and they didn't sign.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, Yeah. And I think, instead of coming back looking like a bootleg Ricky Starks, because yes, he did look like a bootleg Ricky Starks. Sorry. His chains and I'm like, really, dude, can't you do anything you're not copying off of somebody? Whatever. But I'm just saying that I think that he really thought that, I'm Mr. Shit now. This is a great time to have an injury. And, I can go wherever I want. I can write my own check.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Let me see.
But he does not have a very good reputation from what I've heard. And I'm not saying this because I don't like the guy. I just heard a lot of people and they say the same things.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, sounds about right. Let's see. Jeremy's in the chat. We're going to go through, catch up on a lot of this chat. Jeremy says, Will Ospreay seems like an egomaniac, so it wouldn't surprise me that nobody would want to sign him. And I wonder if that's it too. I wonder if he also had demands that were high. I wonder if it was like, hey, we'll sign you. This is what we're thinking. And he goes, I'm easily worth double that. And I went, what?
Probably.
Yeah. Don't you understand? I'm the literal best in the world. And everyone's like, okay,
no, you're not. No, you're not. Of that style and genre, he's not. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ricochet makes him look like a fool. And when Ocean Spray, yes, I call him Ocean Spray. So whenever I see people call him that, I know where it came from. Ocean Spray, when he bulked up because he wanted to be a heavyweight, he couldn't for months. He couldn't do any of those moves. Yeah. And it was really funny. And he still kind of can't. It's a struggle, but I don't know.
Yeah. And Ricochet's put on a ton of weight too and still can execute.
Yeah. He's still like flippy dippy Mr. I'm all over the place.
I saw a back and forth between him briefly online once where someone showed the thing with both of them going back and forth. And like Ospreay like retweeted it and said, ever since I put on X number of pounds, I can't do half of this stuff anymore. And Ricochet responded with something like, I've put on X number of pounds, and not only can I still do all of what I did, I could do all of what you did too.
Oh, burn! Oh,
yeah.
I wonder, was this from like WrestleCon 20 in Orlando? So a couple WrestleCons ago, because there was a Ricochet and Will Ospreay. They had a team. There was a team, like they each had a team, and or I think Rev Pro, the two of them went at it too.
I think it was the Rev Pro one.
Oh, was it the Rev Pro one? Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, yeah. That's the only time I ever had to cheer for Ocean Spray is because, well,
He teamed with
let's face
Ricochet.
it, Marty
Oh.
was on his team.
Oh,
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah,
we
and
don't have a choice
Marty's like, yeah, yeah, is what it is. I'm like, he's like, but I'm better than him. I go, duh.
Oh, yeah. No, it's easy to tell.
Yeah, you've got his number. So
as we sift through these a little bit too, Jeremy does say NWA also confirmed that Ric Flair will be on NWA 73. I saw that too.
No.
But I think that might be a more appropriate thing for him. That's the kind of thing he should be doing, showing up at those type of things, maybe holding the title, maybe standing in someone's corner, maybe commentating on a match. Like, do something that's actually a celebration and not an expose. But as we move on to the next topic and such, Kuro is mentioning the WWE tryouts in Las Vegas. He said Faith Jeffries was offered a developmental deal. Also mentions that Brandi Lauren just re-debuted for Impact, which is good. She's from what I've seen of her in the ring, I thought she had a lot of potential and was hoping she would take off in NXT, and it just didn't work out that way. So hopefully, especially in Impact, where their champion is Deonna Purrazzo, who, from my buck, is one of the worst talents to come out of NXT in general. I think that Brandi has every bit of possibility to become a big fish in that pond. I just was never impressed. 100% of the time I saw Deonna wrestle, I was always like, what are they talking about? What are people talking about? And I still think that.
why WWE trying to sign her in the first place, right?
Mm.
At the time she was dating Marty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well.
He did say also that a dozen developmental contracts were given in Vegas, and I did see that Denise Salcedo, did go to the tryout thing and was able to do the media thing, and she said that she asked Triple H how many talents were signed from these tryouts. He said there were 38 people, one injury, one went home, and about 13 to 16 people got signed, which is a rough estimate there. I think it's tremendous. I think it's great. I'm excited to see what comes of it at some point.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, I hope it goes well and stuff. I'm not trying to knock shit and be an asshole or anything like that, but I'm worried just because we've seen so many people be released lately. Yeah, exactly. Like we've seen a lot of releases lately.
Yeah, Alex Zane.
Yeah.
I mean, really good releases. And speaking of a release, did you see that now your buddies Everrise are all elite now?
Yeah, they were officially signed after doing a massive job to Sting where they looked like absolute fools. So that was interesting. But we'll talk about that. Grim Reaper does say Samoa Joe was scoping the talent at Vegas tryouts. I know what you're saying, Klump, because part of me is like, man, they just had all these releases. It's got to be a little nerve-wracking to sign. But it's also, I think that I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't think you can say, I can't believe they would release this talent, and then also say, I can't believe they would hire talent. Like... Yeah. If you're going to be outraged about them releasing talent, you can't be outraged about them bringing talent on. That doesn't mean you can't be skeptical about how many come out of it. I saw one person responded and said, like, only 3 or 5 of these people are ever going to end up on NXT TV. Maybe. They've signed a lot of people to developmental that never made it to TV because they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
You know, it happens. That's what the point is of developmental, to see what they can do, to see if they can get there, you know? Go ahead, Klump. What were you going to say?
That's what I was thinking. It wasn't like knocking... the idea of firing and hiring, more like who's gonna go where and what. That's more my thought. And like it's I don't know. I mean, there's still like some they have a lot of people in developmental we still haven't seen.
Yeah.
Like when are we gonna start seeing people go up? Like do things, be on TV like Parker Bordeaux, or people hear these things about. I do like that Samoa Joe is there. I really like that because, I like that he wasn't just released and brought back. He is doing stuff and in multiple layers of the company.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic too. But I agree. But I also think that, I mean, look at the Street Profits.
Yeah.
Dawkins was in NXT for 7 years before he ended up on TV at all.
That's not a great, yeah.
Fandango.
But look at him now. You know what I mean? Like
I haven't seen him on.
He's part of a successful tag team right now. You know what I mean? Whether we like him or
Sure.
not is irrelevant. He's a tag team champion multiple time at this point. Part of a successful tag team, has merch, has toys, has shirts. Like, I don't like him, but he's kind of an NXT success story for sure. You know?
Yeah.
So it just also goes to show that, like, hey, maybe people show up and it takes them longer to get there. Maybe some people get hot shotted through it, and does that work out every time too? Like, everyone's gonna have a different type of journey, and so yeah, 13 signings. Maybe we see 3 of them become stars. Maybe not. It's still kind of cool that they're still trying to get more talent in and try and see what they're doing. You know?
Yeah. It's interesting that they did a tryout.
That's true. LA Knight was in NXT. He got let go, came back, straight to TV. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know, man. You just don't know. What was the question, Amanda?
I said it wasn't a question. It was more of a, well, it's interesting that they did the tryout way. Is
Yeah.
it because, we really already kind of raped the indies and we, are looking for ones that are kind of like unknown-ish or ones that maybe had come before? I don't know.
Or is it that they've not seen the success they wanted out of getting the indie stars that they wanted? You know?
That could be it too.
Maybe they're seeing people come from places, I mean, not AEW specifically, obviously, but like maybe they're seeing people show up with incredibly bad habits and incredibly big egos, and they can't get them to, for better or worse, fall in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how do you explain Jonah Rock? Reed.
Well, you can't explain all the releases because you can't explain Bray Wyatt. I'm saying that we don't know.
Yeah, that too.
We don't know the real reasons behind any of these releases. Anyone who says budget cuts is just listening to whatever they're fed. But there's no way you can tell me that Jonah Rock isn't TV ready, that Bray Wyatt isn't an absolute cornerstone of any roster. You know, like
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no way you could tell me that Braun Strowman wasn't in the best shape of his life and doing the best work he's ever done in the ring and on the mic. Even if he was struggling, he was growing, and he was WWE homegrown. He'd only done it their way. So I'm not saying that there's an absolute to any of this, but maybe they decided, hey, we've been going really hard on the indie scene. Maybe we need to get a couple people from just the athletic scene, you know? Maybe. It wouldn't be the most ridiculous thing.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. And again, I'm not justifying anybody's release. I don't understand them. I think of the people who were there, and there's nobody who I think shouldn't work there by any means. And there's no one who I think I wish they were let go. But there are people that you just think of their slot, how long they've been there, how much they've been utilized, and you think that it's kind of wild that they're still there and other people were cut who were in more prominent positions for longer or even for shorter and even more fresh faced, you know? Yeah. That's not to justify anybody's release, but it's just like there's no seemingly understandable rhyme or reason where you go, oh, clearly they're shaping the roster this way. There's no clearly anything when it comes to any of that, which we've talked about before. So I don't know. Maybe they're just looking for athletics and not bad habits. Because I'll tell you this, the longer people are in AEW, the way that they do stuff over there, I think a number of those people are going to have a hard time going anywhere outside of AEW. You know what I mean?
Well, they'll probably just pluck the ones that WWE will just pluck the ones that kind of stand out a little bit.
Yeah.
It has me worried about like Top Flight, those two, because Dante is incredible.
Yeah, he's great.
I mean, he's been doing such an amazing job, doing his his singles run, and I mean, he's going to PWG. He's debuting at the next one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting to see that. So, but then there's some people at AEW that it's like, oh no. They probably would take a chance on, but it's like, ugh.
Yeah, and they're getting reinforced, and I mean, take it for what it's worth. I've heard that there's a lot of ego in the back, and it's not from other podcasts. It's from people I've talked to, that there's a lot of people who feel like they've made it, and that's it, and they're complacent now. They've just immediately been like, I don't need to get better. I don't need to train more. I'm already on national TV. The fact that that's even a potentially growing mentality to hear outside of a podcast world from people I talk to, that's like, that's not a good sign. if that's the growing mentality or even a strong mentality. I'm sure it happens, and I'm sure it happens in NXT too. But
I can tell you this. I know that like Will Hobbs is still the same old Will Hobbs. Because yet when he saw, was it yesterday? I saw Melton in one. He had those really cool overalls. There is a guy out here who refs called Nuck, and Nuck did those. He's done all of his the airbrush stuff he's worn, and I think they look awesome. So it's great when you represent that. Now, is it great that other people? Because one person that I think that I don't know, I think thinks he's the shit and whatnot. He really isn't. Is the guy, the Luchasaurus? I'm like, dude, you suck. You suck. You sucked back then. I don't know how the hell you got signed at AEW.
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy is
Yeah.
exactly why.
Mm-hmm.
But before we dig into AEW and probably try to speak about other things on there, I do want to throw out two more things because I was talking to the boys down at specifically Devoid, specifically Micah. I would say friend of the show, but I think he's quickly becoming nemesis of the show. Who was telling me the other day that he felt that wrestling was not culturally relevant and that that's the fault of WWE and such. And I said, toxic Micah, you dipshit, right? No. I said something way more diplomatic because I am a polite individual. So, as I was talking to Micah, I start seeing news come in, one of which was yesterday that there was an announcement by Triple H that NXT UK has partnered with ETFC, Enfield Town FC, which is a football club in England, England's first fan-owned football club, and it appears to have been sponsored by NXT UK. It looks like I think the NXT UK logo is going to be on their jerseys or some shit. Like, Jesus. It's fucking wild, and it's really cool. That's NXT UK and a kickball club. I don't know what you call them. Well, but it's in Europe, so it's kickball. But so that happens, and then immediately after this morning, I wake up and I see that Major League Baseball and WWE have announced a multi-year partnership to create Major League Baseball-inspired WWE Championship replica titles coming to stores in 2021. And I sent that to him, and I said, because WWE isn't culturally relevant. And he was all like, okay, you got me there.
Well...
And then he said, but in his defense, because I'm going to fucking trash this guy right now, he said wrestling wasn't culturally relevant. And I said, but you're wrong. It's AEW that's not culturally relevant. WWE is. But furthermore, my argument is that this is all to say, when we say that WWE and AEW are not in competition, when we say that WWE is bigger than wrestling, this is what we're talking about. The fact that WWE can make a partnership with Major League Baseball just to make their own championships with baseball logos on it, and it's a multi-year deal. That's what we're saying is bigger than wrestling. That's why WWE is bigger than wrestling. That's why they're not competition, because WWE is culturally ingrained. Producers trying to say something?
Also, the Spotify and podcast news.
Yeah, Spotify just picked up all of WWE's podcasts, picked up The Ringer. Like, that's what we're talking about. Not that they're not both wrestling shows, but that WWE has been branching out for so long, and Vince's vision of what WWE should be is so tentacled out there that it's bigger than wrestling. WWE is a company that has a wrestling show. AEW is an indie promoter for a wrestling company that is on TV.
And sells lots of t-shirts.
And sells tons of t-shirts. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that Tony has any ambition to actually honestly get AEW on the same level of WWE. I don't think he does. Because I think that would involve Tony branching out his thought process, his control, and away from the wrestling product only. And I think that Tony is wrestling product only minded.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. I'm not saying that as a knock, but I'm saying that Vince is bigger than that. He's broader than that. And that's what I mean by they're not competition, is no matter how big AEW gets as a wrestling company, I don't think they have the desire, the drive to become this culturally ingrained in culture in general. Like, as a brand. If they actually do have a partnership with NBC Universal at some point, The
Where's
Rock's...
my fucking theme park?
We need a theme park, firstly. But also, The Rock's first several successful films were under the WWE Studios productions. They then went on. He did some other little ones here and there, but the ones that were successful, like Walking Tall and I don't think Scorpion King was. I don't remember, but like Walking Tall was
No,
the
that
WWE
was
Studios. Yeah, Mummy. But Walking Tall was a WWE Studio production. You know what I mean? Like, if you can put NBC Universal behind WWE Studios, who knows what we can get? Could be cool. Producer's trying to say something.
I was just thinking of all the movie stars we've seen. Cena, Becky, probably gonna see Alexa. Like,
right, but also, I'm going to hand it back over to you guys. I don't think that that's the marker that it should be, and a lot of people are trying to say that. They're like, oh, we don't have another Rock or Cena, the Hollywood guys. WWE's not cranking out the Hollywood guys. All right, but before The Rock, there was no Rock. There was no one who was that big in Hollywood. Hulk Hogan is still arguably the most famous wrestling name in the world and was an absolute failure in Hollywood. Roddy Piper?
Well, he was good as Thunder Lips. Come on now.
Sure. Still not a fan favorite.
No.
Roddy Piper, no matter how much acting Roddy Piper did, he was always in every credits Roddy Piper. He never dropped Piper because he was always Piper. He was never in Hollywood bigger than who he was in wrestling. The Rock goes by Dwayne Johnson strictly. Remember for a while it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Yeah, not more.
Not anymore. He goes by straight up DJ nowadays. Fuck that. And that's what I mean. Just because you're a WWE star doesn't mean you should have to be a success in Hollywood, and also means you aren't. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. Relatively popular in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Not successful in Hollywood. Not successful in just branching out into general pop culture until like the past couple years. Much later than when he was relevant.
Mm-hmm.
He's relevant again and all that. His TV shows, all that stuff. But I'm sorry, I've gone on a bit of a rant here.
Well,
Klump,
I didn't
let's go to Amanda and see what you say, and then we're gonna pass it to Klump.
Well, Major League Baseball, I'm totally not surprised by this. If people are surprised, that kind of shocks me, because as a baseball watcher, there's quite a few ball players who are big wrestling fans.
Yeah.
One of note used to play BA's, Josh Reddick. Dude used to I see him at indie shows. I mean,
Nice.
I think he refed a match once, and I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't like to say the Giant, but like Hunter Pence was I think Daniel Bryan had given him a belt and was at one of the times when they won the World Series. And I was like, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Whatever, because I don't like the Giants. And then I think I remember the Home Run Derby. They would give those guys a WWE belt. That was like kind of like the trophy. You'd win a truck or a car from Chevy, and then they got this belt. And they did that for years. I don't know if they still do that, but that doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah.
That they're doing that. What would shock me is if for some weird reason, all of a sudden we would see, I don't know, like NFL or the NBA, because those are big money. Those are big money right there.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm shocked about is that it's a literal partnership deal that's going to have these replica titles in stores. That's what shocks me. I wasn't shocked about WWE throwing their title at people all the time.
No.
Remember we talked about a while back? I mean, Klump, we talked about it before. The new version of the title being a giant WWE logo is a little annoying because it feels like a massive advertisement, and it has these little plates for whoever's the champion, which we thought was cool because that means forever customizing it without ever customizing it.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw this, it was all like, fuck me, dude. Like, did they think this far ahead? Where they really thought, like, hey, imagine our belts in fucking every single stadium's gift shop. where you walk in and you go to Wrigley Field and here's all of the Cubs merchandise, and up on the wall is the giant WWE logo with 2 Cubs plates. Now you've got the WWE influence literally in every baseball stadium. I'm like,
oh my God,
fuck.
You know how many of those you're going to see at the bleachers at the A's games? Oh my God.
So good. Huh?
Tons. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Better than trophy. But I don't know if that's where they were going in their minds, but I'm like, if that's where they were going, like how forward thinking is that? Klump, I semi-ranted again. I want to know what you think about all this stuff.
I forgot where we were at.
It's a tough one to keep track of, man.
I know.
WWE being so big, being so branched out, the partnerships.
And then you went on about Homeboy.
Competition.
The culture, the cultural thing. Okay, I'm sorry, but you know what? None of those promotions, none of them are culturally diverse. So you need to take that off the table, bro. No. And this is from a person of color.
I was talking about culturally relevant. I was talking about diversity. That's a whole other conversation.
But still, I take it all. I lump it all into one because, damn it, I'm a minority. Damn it, shit. But yeah, no. I mean, it's no. The only cultural relevance they have right now is everyone likes those Jordan shoes, the Michael Jordan old ones. Like the Young Bucks are buying all these stupid shoes. That's the only thing that makes them culturally relevant.
No, that makes them culturally aware, if anything, not culturally relevant.
Yeah, aware.
Klump, I want to know what Klump thinks about all this. Klump, let's go back to you for the 4th time. I think we keep stepping all over you. I just want Klump to know that we love you.
You're good. I feel the love.
Good.
I think to me, it's awesome to see the connection in different areas, and it does. If nothing else, it shows the ability for WWE to connect and market. Baseball being aware of that possibility, I'd like to see it expand to more because also fucking title belts are awesome.
Oh yeah.
I love title belts, and I love seeing them anywhere. I've always I love hip hop, and I know there's all these crossroads of hip hop and wrestling. I'd love to see somebody come out with a title belt as their, in addition to chains, in addition to a lot of the jewelry, have a title on the rocks. That'd be some bomb shit to see.
Oh, dude.
Master
Me
B
too. I'm wearing the Wrestling on the Rocks title to SmackDown. I'm gonna wear our own title there. It's gonna be dope.
Nice.
Master P can go fuck off.
Well, no, because he actually bought a wrestling company.
Oh, that's interesting. But continue.
But I just think it speaks to how unique wrestling is. Wrestling, well, WWE will use that, exists so broadly. It's almost like Comedy Central in a sense to me.
Yeah.
Comedy Central existed as a place for comedy and kind of for stand-up. But it became this really big, unique space where they hosted festivals. They had developmental things. They had, at one point, a stand-up school. They partnered with improv companies to showcase their stuff. There's so much that they did.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, And WWE, I mean, to me, it's awesome because it just expands it more in the minds of people, so that it becomes less niche and more. If you don't watch it, you know what it is.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the idea that you can go to your favorite ball game, your favorite team stadium, and see a WWE belt inside every one of those stores. Not to mention how many malls have those lids and shit. How many of those? We have this one out here, Sports something, where it's got those pillars that are baseball bats, just tons of sports memorabilia and stuff.
Oh, just sports?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's just. Maybe it is just sports.
It's just sports.
Yeah. Imagine going in there and just seeing 5 or 6 different ones. These are the champions and here's their titles. You know what I mean? The last couple years or whatever. That's just gonna be fucking cool. Because as a wrestling fan who has to go in those stores sometimes with my brother because he needs a new hat, I'm looking around being like, yeah, I guess I like the Padres. You know what I mean? But if I was looking around and saw WWE stuff, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, and it just brings it up, and now you have a conversation, and I don't know. I just think it's fucking neat.
It would look better if the baseball team's logo was the big centerpiece.
No.
Whatever kind of blinged out a little, and then the WWE and the side plates. But
no.
Yeah.
WWE
No?
front and center, put the sports on the side, because that's just it. You're already seeing the sports everywhere in those places. You need the WWE to stand out, to be like, don't you forget. Because that's the other thing. When you turn on WWE, are you going to see Roman's logo in the middle? No, you're going to see the WWE logo and Roman's logo's on the side. So when you tune in, you got to see what you're seeing, you know? Let's see.
Did you upgrade your mic? Because your farts come through clearer now.
They're better now. It's more clear now. The mic is
like what mic do you use?
Well, I use a mic that's like condenser, so it doesn't pick up that stuff. But now this mic that by the way, by fan demand, the fans demanded I use this mic. I'm giving people what they want.
No one wants this.
This is what they wanted. They said, "Do you have a mic that could pick it up better?" And I said, "You know what? I do. I do for you."
I can find a way.
I don't remember that. Gotta stick with producer lady here on this one. I don't remember anyone saying that.
It's what I got out of the conversation.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation of what people were saying when they said they couldn't hear me. They didn't mean me specifically. They said they meant they couldn't hear my farts good enough.
Yeah, we couldn't hear your asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was meant Klump could host.
Well, that's my last bit of trashing for Toxic Micah at specifically Devoid Podcast. Check those guys out over at Devoid Podcast, specifically Devoid. You can hit up Devoid Podcast on Twitter and tell them that you want to know why Micah is so damn toxic all the time. I don't have any more. What? Oh, that's interesting. I don't have any more news stuff. If you guys want to get into AEW, do you guys have any other news? No. All right. Let's talk AEW then. There is a little bit of chatter in here. I didn't watch almost any. I saw a couple of GIFs of a few things. I watched literally less than a minute of AEW collectively this week between Rampage and Dynamite. I didn't see or hear about anything that I thought seemed relevant enough for me to go check it out. But like I said, I saw a couple of GIFs of a couple of things. Kuro is asking. He goes, I got to know why... and Grim Reaper said, but Thunder in Paradise. That was a good joke about Hogan. Kuro says, I got to know, why does AEW need to say we have a special announcement before every show? And I feel like that's super true. That they're just constantly super special announcement. You can't miss it. I think that's the definition of... It's the definition of hotshot booking, isn't it? You give everybody what you got every time, and you book yourself into a corner because you just can't always raise the deck.
Yeah.
Isn't that the deal? And if you tell everybody every time it's a massive announcement and then they don't get what they want and it's not that massive, you just become the boy who cried wolf on that one.
Yeah. That was like the Labors of Jericho. Because I know they said the MJF was going to ref that shit. Yeah. Right? And he didn't ref. So, I mean, they have no follow through. Yeah. And I think that Tony, those are the only that's his mechanism for, just excite people and then kind of let them down. They're still going to be like, almost like a squat monkey and be all, woo, woo, No.
Klump, what do you think about that? Overpromise and underdeliver as a mantra. Yeah, excite 1,000%. People and then let them down. Yeah.
Painfully so. Like I want to again and again. I want to like it. I want to be excited. I want nothing more than the miss a week and be like, oh shit, that happened, awesome. But
yeah, exactly.
No. Yeah,
dude, 100%. Yeah. There's been very few things that have come across ever where I went, oh damn, I should have been watching live. Every time I've even heard of stuff at this point, I go, okay, I guess maybe I might go check that out. Or I've seen enough of it. But then he does follow up. Kuro says, this Friday's Rampage didn't need more hype, but Tony Khan decided to say literally, he did tweet this a couple hours ago. The most anticipated announcement in AEW history will be announced on Rampage. Kiro does say, I kind of feel like not watching Rampage in my hotel room from my phone just because he went on some and made some dumb announcement. And I'll tell you, if you're in Vegas, I wouldn't. Dude, I'm going to be driving from SmackDown to Vegas when that's live, so I'll be sitting there with like my phone plugged in on my dashboard. I could probably put it on and listen to it, and I have no desire at all to even listen to it. Like, none. Because here's the deal is no matter what comes out, what gets said, they're going to post a video of it on Instagram, and then you're fine. You're caught up. Does it really matter if you catch it 2 minutes later on Instagram because you're out in Vegas walking around having a good time? I think you should check out Vegas. I don't think you should be inside your hotel room watching Rampage. There's no point.
No. Good Lord, no. No.
That's our rest in the AEW. No.
I think I know what he's trying to allude to. He's trying to tell everyone that, because isn't Rampage in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what he's trying to allude to.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's happening because only reason why I'm saying this is because I saw, for the first time in a long time, I was watching BTE. And of course, they have Dark Order on there and they're doing kind of like a Q&A. And one of the questions was, about like something about CM Punk and Colt's whole demeanor. Just like, yeah. He was like, not having that. So I really don't think that it's going to happen. And if it does, I don't know. I just
They're saying fuck you to Colt Cabana.
Yeah, basically, or I see him like, if he's here, I'm not going to be here, so I'm out.
Can you imagine if Colt Cabana leaves and AEW loses all their partnership with PWTs?
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like,
but you know what?
Imagine the idea: CM Punk shows up on TV, and all of a sudden AEW shop goes offline.
They wouldn't do that because they.
Ryan Barkin isn't going to have that happen. He's the owner, but even though Colt's like, I'm the co-founder and I get $1 off of every shirt. I mean,
I don't think that would happen also because they still got a CM Punk store.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Making money with that motherfucker.
And they make new shirts all the time.
Yes. It's just, I mean, honestly, like, to me, it's kind of toxic to think of because you're playing into this idea that we're going to bring this talent in at the, at the detriment to another talent who's pretty critical to the company who really has some bad blood there, which may or may not happen. But why what bugs me, I didn't watch a lot of it, but I've seen all the things that they're leading into, all the little, like, wink, wink, dipshit references, and I'm sorry, they are dipshit references. It's as subtle as a parody movie from the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree. Kuro does say big announcement from Paul White was only a big announcement because he was tall.
Ah!
Yep.
Love the humor.
Just in Time says, speaking of the ref, the referees last night continue to show how god-awful they really are. Dude, it's one of the reasons I have a hard time watching AEW, honestly. If the referees weren't so fucking destroyed and they had any kind of credibility, there's nothing they're putting on to try to be even remote. Here's the thing. Everybody loves... all the fans of AEW always go on about how the best years were the Attitude Era. And what kicked off the Attitude Era, and they all talk about how good Nitro was, and I used to love WCW. What made it big was when it leaned into realism above all else. Calling Diesel and Razor, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash was the move to lean into realism. We're going to stop using gimmick names. Not that just because of the contract thing. Obviously, they were in a different company. They couldn't use Razor and Diesel. But they wanted to use their real names because they wanted to start using a lot of guys' real names to lean away from gimmick stuff and into a blurred reality. And there's nothing AEW has ever done to try to blur any form of reality whatsoever. And the refs are like the start of that. No match ever looks like competition. Ever. Yeah, and then the one ref was when Sting was tapping out the guys. He was swinging his arm around, doing like a big old windmill, and I was like, "Fucking jackass."
Who
Jeremy,
won that? Was that Bryce?
yeah, it was Bryce. Jeremy says, "Marsh, are you trying to tell me that you're not super duper excited for Paul White versus QT Marshall at All Out? Is that going to be at All Out? I thought it was going to end up on YouTube because I was like, there's no way they're going to waste actual TV time on this.
They're wasting good pay for you on that.
Yeah, that's going to be
whatever.
awful.
And you know what? Whatever.
I hope
and
QT wins.
And then you know what? All I know is it's like there's still a lot of people on the roster who don't really get much of anything.
Yeah.
And it's very sad.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a ton of people on the roster we don't even get TV time.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time we saw Janela? But let's see.
The doghouse though, again.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's, Janela, I think now is just kind of like, whatever. But Tony's been using some of those GCW guys a lot. I saw Ricky Shane Page again. Like, this is like maybe 4th or 5th time. And I'm like, he's an awesome wrestler. Just sign him.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Kuro also says, oh, and that was another thing I was thinking of is Sonny Kiss. Remember when Sonny Kiss had the match against Cody for the title, and everyone said, yeah, but that was star making. Sonny's getting a big push. We never saw Sonny again.
No.
Kuro said, if Punk doesn't show up, they upset TNT execs that are expecting it to happen, and there's already sports betting sites taking bets on his first opponent. I also heard, I mean, and I don't fucking know anything about it, but I heard that AEW got in hot water with TNT for not announcing talents before they showed up. That was why they announced Big Show coming on before he came on, and then why Big Show said, I have an announcement on the pay-per-view, and that's why they brought Christian on the pay-per-view, because they wanted to be able to advertise for big stars that people would want to see, and they didn't want big announcements anymore, which makes it really suspicious that they might have a big debut. I wonder if the announcement is they're going to announce that CM Punk will be somewhere, and he won't actually be there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? How pissed people will be if he just goes on there and they just put up a graphic in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Or I see the other part that I see of it too is either A, Punk's going to be at home and you'll see the image. That could totally happen, and they troll everybody.
Yes.
Or B, Cole Command's going to sit at home because he's like, I'm not going to be around this shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if anyone's in Chicago and, see some of this, give me some scoop. I want some Cole Cabana gossip. I haven't had Cole Cabana gossip in a long time.
That sounds good. Let me see. Kuro says Darby Allin's face is probably sore today. Jeremy says, but Klump
Your ass is probably sore right now.
I know somebody is.
Jeremy does say, but Klump, Kenny Omega wore a Chick Magnet shirt. Get it? Chick Magnet? CM? Such a clever hint. Yeah, and then Kuro says TNT isn't happy with parts of AEW, hence the future move to TBS, because then AT&T has full control to can the show at a moment's notice. Well, that's interesting. I don't know a lot about that stuff, but I think it's an interesting thought process. Klump, what do you got?
I mean, it's so dumb. I want to get off of this shit because it's pointless.
Yeah.
Like and it's annoying that I'm sure that they're talking to him and he's playing along with it too, but it's just stupid. And it's, I mean, honestly, kind of fucking cruel because, to this fan base, he is a big dude. And don't get me wrong, Punk's got a great history. I like Punk, but unless you're going to do it, do it. These weird teases, and they're part of wrestling, but if it leads to nothing, boy, that's fucked up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think what makes them special is they have to remain special, and they can't be like a consistent expectation. I think that's when shit starts to get really messed up.
Plus, anyone else that comes in, any other fucking person that comes in, it just makes them like, okay, but they're not CM Punk.
Yeah. 100%.
Like,
If it's anyone
that-
who's not CM Punk, people will be pissed.
Yeah, or Daniel Bryan tomorrow. This weekend, Braun Strowman comes out. Yeah, but it's not CM Punk or Daniel Bryan.
Dude,
Yeah, and then
how-
Bray Wyatt comes out. Oh, not CM Punk.
Yeah,
Not
it doesn't.
Daniel Bryan.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it won't be enough if it's not what they want specifically. Yeah, Greenberg said TNT was pissed because they didn't announce Sting ahead of time. That's right. I remember reading that too. And Justin says whether they announce it or keep it a surprise, AEW thrillers will eat it up either way. Yeah, I think that's the other thing too is that the AEW fan base, even when they say they're disappointed, they then immediately return and go, now I thought about it for a second. This is actually the best, smartest move ever.
God, we're so stupid.
I don't know. I had some other thoughts on that I think I'll just let go this time. We'll talk about it another time. But
Sting. I just wanted to say, you know how I on episode 1 was saying it's really disappointing and I kind of missed the snow.
Yeah.
He had snow.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
think they're trolling this show.
Yeah, they're big fans.
Mhm.
Was there anything on Rampage or Dynamite that you exceptionally liked or anything, Amanda? Anything you want to talk about?
Nothing this week in all the hours of AEW that I watched. Nothing really stood out to me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So to be fair, now I will say that the Britt Baker match
Yeah.
with Red Velvet. Yeah, that was pretty decent. And you know why? Because guess who produced it? Good old Sanjay Dutt. He's been booking
nice.
and doing some of the production. So if you're seeing quality things, I'm assuming 9 times out of 10 it's going to be Sanjay.
Oh, it could be.
And
Could be.
yeah, and I would love for Sanjay to I'd like to see what he can do with some of the people. But it was nice because it wasn't one of those matches that, the AEW has that, kind of really pander to women and make us feel kind of stupid,
Yeah.
these women wrestlers. So that was a nice one. And Red Velvet has definitely improved. So yeah. Or if it'd be other people couldn't say that Brett Baker just sucks. But tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. What do you think about Christian getting the titles? He's got the Impact World title, TNA title.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm like, I get it, but okay. I mean, if I were on Impact, I would be pissed. I'd be all, what the fuck? Our title's not even on here. Those assholes don't let us go, and we're not on that show. Just the Good Brothers and Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
I would be pissed. I would be so pissed. Like if I were Sammy Callahan, I'd be all, man. If they thought that Nick Gage and and Jericho was, oh my God, you put fucking him and Omega and give him some kind of slight death match or something with weapons, and Omega's gonna die. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
He has the death machine, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I think it's cool. I think it's neat. I like the idea of Christian having some matches on Impact. It doesn't make Impact feel any more special, I don't think. And
no.
I also think that it's the exact kind of thing that if another company did, people would shit all over. But that said, I do think Christian is badass. And I don't know. It was just one of the things where I just kind of went, oh, okay. Like he could have won the title in Impact after he could have come back to wrestling in Impact and won the title. And I probably would have felt the same way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Klump, what did you think about Christian winning the titles?
I didn't see it, so I can't throw too much out there. But
Just the idea of Christian taking the Impact title off of Kenny.
I agree with Amanda. Like it'd be cool if Christian. I mean, my hope is Christian's on the show more and wrestle some talent there and stuff like that. But yeah, cool. We had 2 non-Impact people fight for the Impact title and won.
Yeah, I do think that AEW's definitely gone above and beyond to make sure Impact and TNA seem lesser than
Yeah,
This
like
is- This is really weird.
it'd be weird. Like it'd be weird. Like if LeBron James went in and beat somebody for tennis. It's like, okay, cool. I don't know how you're here.
Oh.
No, if LeBron James played Kyrie Irving and then one of them won Wimbledon, and it's like, why is this the final for Wimbledon?
That's a way out there thing.
Yeah, like
Wimbledon. I'm like, Wimbledon.
Yeah.
But I will say, one good thing that I'm looking forward to tomorrow with Rampage is one gal that made her. I think it was her debut. I don't think she was on earlier before, but former Impact wrestler Kiera Hogan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she had some pretty good matches, but tomorrow she's really gonna be put to the test, and so is Jade Cargill, because those two are going at it, and I can't wait for that. That's probably the only thing. I don't even know what matches are on the card. All I know is that one, and that one is gonna be fire.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What do you think of the commentary team? 4 color commentators seem like a lot.
That's way too much.
Did it come off that way? I'm asking because when they announced the 4 commentators, they're all color commentators, and it was 4 of them. That's why I thought it was weird. But did it come out messy or no?
It kind of does. It's very, I'll say ADD sometimes, to put it that way. That sometimes it feels like, okay, I'm confused. Are you all on the same topic? Hell, are you even watching the same match at the same time?
Oh,
so
just all over the place.
Yeah, just kind of all over the place, And part of it, I think, is like, I'm like, JR, what are you drinking behind that desk? I mean, yeah.
Well, JR wasn't on Rampage.
Not Rampage. I mean,
but even on
normally,
Dynamite, yeah.
On Dynamite, yeah. Oh, not Dynamite. Dynamite. But with Rampage, Taz just kind of goes with the flow. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of wonky that you have all these people, and it did kind of sometimes feel very weird at times.
Kira says, someone take away Mark Henry's commentary privileges. Goddamn. And then he said, what's the TNA title? He said, doesn't exist as of 34 minutes ago. So did they dissolve it because it was kind of a bogus title anyway because they're Impact? Because didn't Moose make it for himself or something? Someone made it for themselves, yeah.
I think it was Moose.
Yeah, and so if they got rid of it, let us know. Justin does say, I honestly think Christian having the Impact Championship is going to be a good thing. Beating a Hall of Famer in Christian would mean so much to anyone who does it. Sort of. But we're seeing the Hall of Famers not mean as much. I mean, Goldberg's a Hall of Famer, and what does beating Goldberg mean right now? You know what I mean?
Look at Sonny.
Who's Sonny? From
WWE. She's
the Hall of Fame center? Yeah. I mean, but even then, like, if someone beats Ric Flair, what does it mean? Not to say Christian's, like, not capable or anything, but, like, yes and no. I think there's more to it than just being a Hall of Famer. Christian came back, and he's lost a bunch of matches since he's been back. He hasn't been fantastic. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been wrestling in a long time. He's been doing good, but even his whole mantra over there is, like, insider shit, outwork everyone. Doesn't mean win all the time. It means, you know what I mean? Like, it's just more of that insider stuff. So I think that, maybe, like, it could, but they're going to have to build it right, and he's going to need to look dominant for a while. He's probably going to need to be champion for a while for someone to, like, dethrone him. But because Christian had to cheat to win it to begin with, if he doesn't hold the title very long and loses it, I don't think it's going to mean as much as it sounds, Yeah. Like, look at Adam Pearce, former NWA champion. Does it mean a lot to beat Adam Pearce right now? Probably not. Does that mean he's not capable of being an incredible in-ring performer right now? No, it doesn't. I bet you he's incredible right now. I bet you he could go right now. I bet you he could keep up with Christian. Right now. But it's all about context, and that's what I'm concerned about, especially with Impact. As we keep going through this, Kuro says, just saying AEW used their name and weight behind to rebook a promotions show they don't even have full televised working relationship with. He goes, they officially retired the title tonight, as last time it was officially retired, it was just shelved. Okay. So it's it was like put aside, so it's officially retired now. So that way Christian doesn't look like he's got more titles than Kenny, because Kenny's the belt collector, but he's got no more titles. All right. Well, if that was there anything else on Rampage that was the only thing I saw that seemed notable?
No, I mean no.
Dynamite, did that have anything? I know that Sting crushed. So Sting no-sold a table spot, jumps up and throws Everrise into a double Scorpion Deathlock.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, didn't look as good as Natty's when she does it.
No.
I mean, she put 3 in a fucking match once, and it was gnarly. But it was fine. And then they tapped out crazy. You got Snow. I didn't like Sting jumping up after going through a table.
Yeah,
it made Everrise look like idiots.
That was horrible. I was just like, bro. You know, I know you guys know Sal quite a bit at this promotion, but with Sting, I'm like, okay, is it just because you want us to know he's okay?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing things like this, but he jumped up, so he's okay. Yeah, no, I just, I was kind of bothered by that. I was just like, okay, was that meant to happen? Or,
That was it. Kuro says Darby Allin's face. Was it supposed to hit the wall, or was the wall not supposed to be in the camera shot? I don't know if they missed a thing there. And the only other thing I saw from Dynamite was Jericho going to hit the Judas effect while Aubrey Edwards was playing Sudoku in the corner and overtly not paying attention in the most cartoonish way that made no sense. And then he overacted and acted really weird, and then took a Judas effect, and it was all kind of like every second of it looked bad. I don't like any of it. So, but those are the only couple things I saw. So you tell me what you liked in Dynamite, and then we'll talk NXT.
There wasn't a lot, to be honest. You know, you did get a quasi promo from Ricky Starks, and then Hobbs was beating on Cage. Cage started whooping ass, and Ricky's like, no. I'm like, no, dude. Like, Texas, like Houston's another, you know, obviously in Texas and whatever. Texas is Ricky Starks' country.
Yeah.
Because he got another big ovation. Obviously, Austin it was big.
Yeah.
But he got another really big ovation when he came out. You know, so yeah. So I think now we're wearing like pleather and not little suits, but I can go either way. I can go either way. And then I did want to comment about that Jericho match. There's 2 things that kind of bothered me. I mean,
I called the music thing right away?
First of all,
I called that immediately.
You did. But what I like, the only comment I had was, you know, they should have put the lyrics, like, you know, the bouncing ball thing you would see, you know, like
just on screen.
Yeah, because you know how many people did not know those damn lyrics, and it was hilarious.
You saw
Marsh just to get some shits and giggles out of it, because you will be like, some people are really into it and they know it, and then they pan on these people, you know.
That's funny. Yeah. I wonder if they were piping it in. But
I don't know.
If no one knew the words, maybe. But did you see that AEW tweeted out the lyrics and asked everyone to please sing it at the show? Yeah. I was like, oh, come on.
Pandering. Yeah. But yeah, no. So that's the other thing that annoyed me. And then the last thing that, well, actually, that was the first thing. The Aubrey also really, she sucks. She needs not to be a referee. Just stick to working in the gaming industry.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or get new get new training, okay? Because no. And then the other thing was I was very bothered by MJF's tan. And now, okay, there were points sometimes, because it's always uneven, right? It's like he misses his armpits. Most of those guys do anyway. But he almost looked, because of the lighting and everything, he almost looked very yellow and jaundiced. Nice. And I was kind of scared, because I'm like, okay, you have the worst tan of probably, like, if I were to rank the tans, he's probably one of the worst. And then sometimes when the Bucks used to get really orange with that spray shit, yeah, it was like on that, it was that level.
Yeah, I remember that.
His is the absolute worst.
Yeah.
The worst. I mean, and then probably the second worst is
Probably Pete Dunne.
there's somebody
Pete Dunne's pretty bad.
Well, no, but at AEW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Pete Dunne is bad. That's a horrible one too. But but there's one, I can't remember who it was, but it was obviously a dude. He was so sweaty it was streaking off.
Oh, that was either Hager or Wardlow. It was one of those guys.
Yeah, it was one of those two.
I think it was Wardlow.
Yeah,
He started sweating it off, and it was like, ugh.
Yeah.
He's pulling a full Giuliani.
Yeah. Or didn't Cardona sweat it off too? Oh, he was at AEW?
Started.
Yeah.
I don't
Full
remember.
Giuliani.
But it's not a
All right. Well, if you got nothing else, I'm gonna hit the chat and talk about. It looks like a lot of people were upset by the reffing in there, and then we'll move on to NXT. But Jeremy says there is a moment where Rick Knox watched Kenny hit Marco with a chair, hand it to one of the Bucks, and then turned around and pretended to be distracted for 2 minutes so they could have the chair spot just for him to ignore Jungle Boy's pin for 30 seconds. Kiro then says the match was a regular match with DQs with MJF and Jericho grabs a bat and the match goes on. Kiro then says to Jeremy, "Oh, you mean when the Bucks came down and the camera cut like 5 times?" And then Justin says, Aubrey not calling a DQ when Spears and Guevara used a guardrail and Spears kicking out of the 360 was completely ridiculous. And Kiro saying MJF got the cheddar cheese tan. Yeah, I mean, I think that they take too much pride in not using DQs and not enough pride in what that actually means.
Mm-hmm.
If you what?
Can I real quick grab a drink? Just
go ahead, go grab a drink. We're gonna finish this up, and then we'll move over to NXT by the time you're back. We're all good. But like when you say that, hey, we're a promotion that never uses DQ, and you take pride in that, you also have to realize what would make a DQ and how do you avoid that. And they take absolutely no pride in maintaining the credibility of the clean fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to say we only have clean finishes, but you do everything you can to just make it a bunch of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kira says too much ref discretion is a bad thing. It's 100% terrible. I think also the refs try too hard to be their own characters. I think that
when you have
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. When you have like one of your refs going on Instagram and Twitter, look at my makeup. Oh, no one gives a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not one of the women wrestlers, and also your makeup looks hideous, girlfriend.
Well,
this is coming from someone who,
it's coming from someone. I'm not going to touch that one, but I will say that the refs aren't the refs and the talent aren't interested in protecting the integrity of the ref, which means there's no integrity to rules, which means the idea of a DQ or a no DQ doesn't mean anything, which means a clean finish doesn't mean anything, especially if a disqualifying factor is utilized in a fashion that doesn't result in a DQ. It just means that there's no point of rules at all. And if you just made yourself ECW and just said, look, we're extreme and we just don't do DQs, it would solve a lot of that shit. Just say we have the same rules as ECW. We don't have the same rules as everybody else. You know what I mean? And then you use guys like FTR who say our matches have rules because that's our gimmick. You know what I mean? Like the way that Cactus Jack did that when he went to ECW. Everyone talks about how hardcore Cactus Jack was everywhere, but watch him in ECW. He followed all the rules, and he was anti-violence because he said it was ridiculous. Because he wanted to be a heel in ECW, and he goes, how do I get the most heat from these guys? I'm going to use rules. Like, it's fucking great. So that's what I mean. Let's see. Jeremy says MJF made it a big deal that Jericho would be cute if they used the Judas effects. Like, that really means anything in the company. Yeah. And Kuro says, this wrestler's knocked unconscious. The match will continue. Yeah. Fucking happens all the time.
That happens in New Japan.
Oh yeah,
my favorite match.
But yeah, if you guys are ready, I'm ready to talk about NXT.
Yeah, let's do this. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Dude, NXT started off with the Diamond Mine, and because Kushida was reportedly not able to get onto the show, I think they said he was not medically cleared. I don't think they said exactly what about. And it could be anything. So he was supposed to have a match with Roderick Strong for the Cruiserweight title, Malcolm Bivens comes out. He cuts this promo saying that Kushida's ducking him, that he's made it up. You know, good heel shit, you ought to say. So Roddy Strong says that he wants to have a match. So he opens up the challenge to whoever wants to come out. And god damn if Ilya Dragunov does not come out and say, I'm going to fuck you up, son.
Mm-hmm.
Klump,
Damn good
I want to
match.
know. Yeah, I want to know what you thought about it, Klump.
It was an amazing match. I haven't seen a lot of Ilya, so watching this, it was fantastic. I love the way that color came in, just a little bit of blood, which probably wasn't intentional, but it just added to it. It worked with it so well. And then the intensity at the end where he's like calling out Walter.
Yes. After
So
the
fantastic.
match, picks up the mic. Dude, I don't think it was intentional at all because, I mean, after the match, they had to fucking wipe him down so he could even cut the promo. Like, if you notice, he was all cleaned up. Well, as cleaned up as he could be because they just ran ringside and while they're doing replays, wipe up his face. And then
But
he
it
had
added to
bandages.
it.
Oh, yeah. It looked like it was his brow.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'd just been clipped just well enough that his face exploded.
Yeah. Damn it!
Dude, I hope to God that doesn't impact them having a match with Walter, because that would be the second match with Walter that's been postponed due to injury, and that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know you haven't seen a ton of NXT UK. That's why I was excited to see what you saw here, because of how good Roddy is in general, and how Ilya and him just fucking.
Whoa! Don't go too far there.
Roddy's good. He's not an exciting personality. He's good in ring.
I love that. He's not exciting, but he's good at what he does.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we give him a mouthpiece. Because he's got a hard time getting people excited about his matches. But when you really put him in there and have a match with somebody, he executes in a believable way. And he knows how to build anticipation and excitement within those constructs. He just doesn't know how to bring that out in an emotional fashion with words. Yeah. So the idea that him and Ilya would get a chance, and who's more intense than Ilya? Just literally more fiery in his eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Amanda, what do you think of this match?
Well, I didn't really get to watch much of NXT. But when I saw that was going to happen, I was so excited. So I need to go back and watch it. But with Roddy, I want to agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, that's the one thing about with Undisputed Era, why I think that they were that good, because look at who the mouthpiece was.
Yes.
Not great wrestler, as you know. I don't think he's all that great. Never thought he was. But Cole can talk. Cole can talk. So, you know.
Yeah, we get that here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was just fucking superb. I've seen this match twice now because I put everything on a second time. But this match is so good. And yeah, the moment that Ilya gets all bloody, he's just gushing and it's crazy. I liked Beth Phoenix using the Crimson Mask term. It's a shout out to old not Lawler. JR says it still to this day every time someone gets blood now. But he stole it from somebody else. Was it Vern? No, it wasn't Gagne, was it? Like, who was?
I don't know.
It was a classic guy that inspired JR, and that's why he uses it, because he heard him use that term once. And so Beth Phoenix used it here, and I thought that was cool. I'm sure it was a similar nod. But, yeah, I just thought it was absolutely incredible and brutal. Super legitimate looking.
This is why I love NXT UK.
Yeah, Grim Reaper's in the chat saying, what does NXT UK expert producer think about how the build for Dragunov versus Walter 2 has been on NXT?
I loved it. I mean, it's different from what I'm used to seeing from him. Seeing him as a face is definitely different for me.
Who's him?
Dragunov.
Okay.
Sorry. But he still conveyed the same crazy madman that he is, and you really saw that, and I love that. I love that so many people are such fans of his now, or at least interested enough to see the match, and I thought that was just awesome. Great for NXT UK, great for NXT to show, look, you can have guys of different sizes, you can have guys of different backgrounds, you can still really have them go and have it be fucking brutal. Love it. I loved it.
Ilya really does spit in the face of the small guys aren't believable. He throws that out the window, that narrative that small guys aren't believable. But what he does also show is you have to bring a lot to the table to make it believable. on paper, if you just did height and weight of Walter versus Ilya, you'd be like, this sounds ridiculous. But Ilya, not only is his physical condition such that you look at him and say, that guy looks like a goddamn honey badger. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like a dude who trains nonstop.
Yeah.
His facial expressions look like a dude who's looking to kill.
Yeah.
Every time he gets hit, he looks like a dude who's pissed he's mad he just got hurt right now. You know what I mean? Like, and he's also like disappointed in himself that he could let someone get one over. Like, he brings so much emotion in everything that he's doing, in his words, in his actions, in the moves. He also logically figures out a way to take down and deconstruct his opponents no matter their size. You can't just be like, I mean, to me, Adam Cole's not believable because he doesn't bring all of that to the table. He doesn't bring the physicality to it. He's all talk. He doesn't bring the psychology to the matches the same way where it makes sense the whole way he goes through, the way that I find Ilya does. Like, Ilya is so believable and destroys the construct of our small guys believable against big guys. Oh, here we go. A few things in the chat. Jeremy does say, I find it hilarious when JR on commentary says stuff like, what's even going on here? Which is funny. It's true. Kiro does say, though, talking about NXT, Kushida has a minor injury, wrist or some kind of injury that I heard, hand injury. And then Grim Reaper said, oh, yeah, that. And then Kiro says Gordon Sully was the one who said Crimson Mask. And then Grim Reaper said, yeah, JR got Crimson Mask from Sully. Yeah. That's what it was. Gordon Sully. That's where the G was when I said Ganya. I'm sure of it. But, yeah, Gordon Sully said that. He was a huge inspiration to JR. But, yeah, dude, I thought this was just fantastic. Ilya's one of the best. He's the dude I could see on the main roster just because he's so believably violent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Little Russians, yo.
Dude, Little Russians. Little Russians.
Yeah. And he's like, I think he really is a little bit in the head.
Now, see, if Ilya was in AEW, they would bring Nikolai Volkov back to be his mouthpiece.
Probably.
Yeah. What?
I feel like Iliad's the dragon off of What is Pain. He's the meme of, like, what is pain? You just see him.
Oh, from Rocky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Don't you feel like Lana and Rusev were kind of like Rocky 4?
Yes.
Oh yeah, at points they straight up were like they had.
Yeah.
I think for us, for WrestleMania when he came out, his with the tank, his gear looked very, very much like Drago.
Yeah, I think that's why she had the look that she had when she came in with the tight bun. Because of that. Yeah.
Well, no, but whatchamacallit had short hair. So.
I don't know.
Bridget Nielsen.
Let's see.
I love that. That was one of my favorite Rockies.
After that, though, as we're moving through, because I feel like we talked about that one for a while, but it was just so goddamn good. We have Isaiah Swerve Scott and Hit Row coming out. Oh, wait. Actually, no. Right before that, there's something else. And this is what I was going to talk about. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. They showed the Prime Target, that video package there. And that was one right there where I was like, okay, I get it, what people say about Adam Cole and his ability to talk. Because I always feel like a lot of his promos are like, they seem like a bit much to me and a bit forced. This one came off fantastic. Where I was like, look, I'm not interested in the match because I know what it's going to look like. But if I didn't know, this would make me go, oh, shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was a fantastic video package, and Adam Cole delivered on here tenfold, I thought, personally. Amanda, did you see this clip?
No, but I think
okay.
I knew it. I think I know what you're...
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, Cole, I mean, like I said, Adam Cole, that's what he does best.
Yeah.
And, and especially if he's really, I don't want to say passionate, but if he's really into what he's the subject of his promo, he's really good. And then sometimes it can be meh, but I get it, I get why a lot of people love Bebe. So, yeah,
Klump, what'd you think of the video package here?
For Cole versus O'Reilly?
Yeah.
Couldn't give a fuck. Like, I get
fair.
the goal of it. I understand, like, the desire to build it up and do things out of it, but I feel... I was
So
thinking
over
about
it.
this. I was thinking about this with watching NXT. There are times when I get annoyed with wrestling because I'm like, y'all are going so slow with the story. Like, okay, do we need to keep going?
Yeah.
There are times where I'm like, this is way too fast. This feels too slow.
Yes.
Or it feels like you built built it up. Sorry, it feels now that it's going too slow because you built it up. You had the logical end to it, and now we're kind of going backwards with it to try and extend it out further without pausing. It's like Triple H and Shawn Michaels was over 2 years.
Yeah.
And they brought it back at points. They paused. They went to different feuds, and it came back. And this is like,
it feels like a stutter.
yeah.
Like they got to the end of the sentence, now they're like,
I
what I mean?
it is.
Yeah. So I agree with that entirely. And that's what I mean. Like, if I didn't know what I was about to get on the other side, then I think I would love this whole thing. As a video package standalone, this was a fantastic video package. Everything was perfect on it. I just, however, know what's coming up on the other side, and that's what I don't care about. But as a standalone, I was like, very well done. And Jeremy does say, NXT are the masters of the video hype package, and I think that's probably true. Grim Reaper says index.
Oh, God.
He's being such a dick right now. Jeremy does say, I've said it before, but Kyle O'Reilly just doesn't make me care. And the fact that the 3 stipulations are the same stipulations that Cole versus Gargano had is kind of lame, in my opinion. I think lame's a very nice way of saying that. But as we keep moving, because, yeah, I agree, I don't care about that, and I was ready to move on. But seeing the video package twice, I was like, you know what? Adam Cole did a great job in this, and they did an awesome job putting this video package together. I wish it was about anything else. Santos interrupts Hit Row on the Titantron. Hit Row's doing their thing. Santos has the grill in his hand because why wouldn't you keep it with you at all times?
I love Santos.
Santos is very, very good.
I love them. Yeah.
Swerve goes out. He says, "Say less." He goes out to the parking lot. He tells the guys, "Hey, don't come along with me." He goes out there. He gets jumped, but he gets the jump on the other guys because as they're coming out, he throws his jacket at their face, and he's able to get on the other 2 dudes. But he's just outnumbered. His crew, Hit Row, run out there. They catch up and they beat down Santos and his cronies. They get the grill back and they talk some shit and walk away. Klump, what did you think about this segment here?
Did not appear on NXT on Hulu.
Hulu cut all that.
Yep.
Huh.
Wow.
I'll be damned.
But they kept the indie shit in. But
that was so important. The indie
Yeah.
shit.
No.
I'll quit the show if you say any outlandish bullshit like that again, Amanda.
Yeah, that's fucking outrageous. But
That's offensive.
I'm surprised they cut this because I know the kind of stuff they typically cut. I would have expected them. Did they get the Robert Stone match? Was that in there? That was, right? Because that's indie. I would have cut that in lieu of this because this is more important to wrestling than anything happening there.
Definitely.
But this was so good. And this was intense. This looked like a personal rivalry. It looks like a grudge. They've really started to dig their heels into how important it is to note what it means, what Santos did when he reached in Swerve's mouth to pull out that grill. This came off like a personal blood feud, and I was like, this is fucking badass. I'm surprised they cut it, and I'm sorry for you because I think you would have dug it, Klump. I think you would have. But moving on, does it have the LA Knight and Cameron Grimes segment in the gym?
Nope.
They cut that?
They cut that.
It's LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. How do you cut that? That's the money right there.
Yeah.
So they're in the gym. Yeah, that's bold. Gold.
That is bullshit.
So LA Knight's in there and he's lifting weights, and Cameron Grimes sitting next to him, and he puts it down. And he like tells him to get him water. You know, Cameron Grimes. He's telling him to do all these shit for him. He's cutting a promo on Cameron Grimes there about how good he is, and he goes, "How great is it gonna be, Cameron, when I beat you again? And Ted DiBiase's gonna be my butler." He's like, "You gotta love that, right?" And Cameron's, obviously just like, "Fuck you, dude." But like the cockiness that LA Knight is bringing is so fucking funny. He walks over to Josh Briggs, says he'll give him $10,000 to hurt Cameron Grimes tonight, so that way he can make sure he beats him. Says he'll give him $5,000 up front and $5,000 after he does the job. Josh Briggs, if you remember, was in the breakout tournament a couple weeks back. He's the guy, I believe, from Arizona.
Yeah.
that was kind
Oh,
of
the
dumpy.
sad fat fuck. Yeah, the sad
Yeah.
fat fuck.
Yeah, the kind of dumpy guy who wasn't very good. He was much better in this match. So
The guy that looks like he's an assistant manager at a Sears.
that's the guy. Hmm?
We don't have stairs here.
We don't have stairs here. It's not his fault. But let's see. There was that, and then there was the match. Was the match in there? Cameron Grimes versus Briggs.
No. I didn't see Cameron Grimes versus the guy who looks like he owns an apartment complex. Not
Then
a
you-
good one.
Then you also didn't get LA Knight on commentary with Ted DiBiase. They sat
didn't.
ringside.
No.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, how would you cut this stuff and leave the index stuff? Like, what the fuck? And cut Hit Row. Like, God. They're cutting my favorite shit from the show, dude.
He looks. Yeah, I didn't get to see Cameron Grimes versus the guy who looks like he counts pickles.
Oh, he'll count
That-
a pickle.
Hulu is just god awful.
Hulu's the worst, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Grim Reaper does say, Hit Row.
Oh,
Hit
wanna-
Row. Go ahead, Amanda.
I do want to say something about the
Hit
girl.
Row.
I'm sorry, but okay, he pulls it out, and they want it back. No. I hope it's not in his mouth because it's like, bro, don't put it back in there. You don't know
Yeah.
what's happening. You know.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I think legally, if you take someone's grill out of their mouth, you have to rub your balls on it. That's just territory. So
Yeah, you
I
have
wouldn't
to.
put-
well,
He didn't
Yeah,
put it in his
but-
mouth. I kept watching it. I was watching it the whole time he took it back. I was like, is he going to put it in his mouth? He's going to put it in his mouth.
I
And he
was
didn't.
vomiting.
He held it in his hand and walked off camera with it in his hand. And I was like, okay. Because I was staring at that the whole time. Because I was like,
Yeah,
he's
you're
going to
like-
get it back and just be like, all slobbery.
Oh hell no! I lose all respect for him.
Yeah.
I'm all throw up.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's just like, "Ah."
I'm not watching wrestling anymore, guys. I'm not happy anymore.
I had carne fries right before. It was bad. Let's see. Kiro does say, I'm going to say it. Baron Corbin is somehow getting that $1 million title. It makes sense with his story. I said that before here. I believe it was episode 1. How much I would love to see LA Knight take the $1 million title to SmackDown and actually pay Corbin to do shit for him up until the point where Corbin tries to get the $1 million title off of LA Knight. And I do see it working.
Oh, they'd be so good together.
Oh my God, they'd be so good together. LA Knight makes his big debut. I don't want to have that match, man. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll give you $5,000. You go out there and have that match for me. Do I have to win? I don't even care if you win. I just don't want to have it. You know what I mean? And then you have Corbin bringing back his riches via LA Knight. But that's just my thought. And then let's see. 15 says Corbin should sell the briefcase. That'd be funny if he sold it. Just not even the contract in it. Just sold the briefcase online or something. Jeremy does or that whole donate to Corbin website. If they put that on there with a sale tag. Jeremy does say, do you think Legato needs a female presence to combat BFAB? She's been a thorn in their side. That's true. She has some sort of lead pipe she was beating the shit out of everybody with. It was pretty gnarly. You could, and you know what? What's her name? Cortez. Catalina Cortez is still under contract with NXT WWE, and she's a masked lucha. I think who she's with. I think she's with a lucha guy who's in or was it Kalisto she was with or something? I think it was something like that. But she's still with him and is a masked wrestler and actually could probably fit in there pretty cool if they did it right. But that's not to say that you have to be a lucha for it, but that's kind of their presentation. Either way, moving on.
But
Go ahead.
Does the
What?
chick wrestle?
Cortez, yeah. She's a
No,
lucha.
not Cortez.
Oh, BFAB?
No. BFAB. Yeah.
I don't know if BFAB wrestles.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
To be honest, I've never seen her wrestle. The only time we saw her before is in Raw Underground. She was one of the ringside people that Shane McMahon said, hey, you go ahead and just be the announcer, and handed her the mic, and she interviewed Braun Strowman, where he just grunted at her, and she just looked scared, and then she never came back. That was the one time she was on there. So
Okay.
we don't know if she can wrestle. I assume she can, but I have no good reason to assume that. So I'm a journalist now. Wrestling journalism right there, 101. Klump. The next thing I have up here is Frankie Monet coming out to the ring with Robert Stone and Jesse Kamea. Frankie looked good here, but I don't think anyone else did in any of this.
No.
to be honest. And then you have Indy and Dexter. The longer this went on, and I'll be honest with you, I went in there like groaning with like it wasn't like there's like a lack of anticipation, and then there's like a feeling of obligation that you groan at. Like I would just go, which is where I was when the match started, and it got worse every minute to me.
So glad I was asleep for this.
Yeah, Klump, I don't want to put words in your mouth or try to set the tone here. How much did you love this?
I loved it like I love the after effects of Carne Asada fries the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you think you're going to have to take a break, but then 2 days later you go, they're just too damn good?
Yeah, like when you're like, day's going great, everything's fine, and then you like literally have to sprint to the upstairs bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hope I outrun my own shits, which has not happened sometimes.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't outrun your shits. We've established that.
Yeah.
And then after the match, Indy Hartwell goes in there and gets on one knee and proposes to Dexter Lumis. He puts out his finger, and then she puts an eyeball ring on it, and he stares blankly into the camera. And Beth Phoenix sells it like she's fucking watching a soap opera. Here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't understand, Klump. In the chat, Just in Time says, I loved Indy Hartwell being Dexter Lumis's doppelganger, but I hated the engagement part. NXT is just rushing through it at this point. That's what I don't get. That anybody sees this and goes, this is enjoyable. This is good. Friend of the show, Front Row, WWE Front Row on Twitter, tweeted out during Raw that seeing an NXT commercial during Raw was like seeing a trailer for Pulp Fiction in the middle of a Disney movie. And I posted a picture back at him of Johnny Gargano in that stupid wig and mustache from last week. And I'm like, this Pulp Fiction? When I see shit like this is what I don't get when people talk about how good and edgy NXT is and how it keeps that edge and how believable it is. This is childish. This is the stuff where I go, oh, they really want to capture children viewers. It's at best parody or satire, but at worst just shitty comedy. And I just don't understand where people are coming from. I have a hard time stomaching it. Producer, something you want to say?
I think it was like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I had a thought, and I didn't want to say it out loud, but I was hoping it wouldn't lead to a wedding. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yep, she did say that.
I didn't even want to put it out to the universe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you felt it so hard that our trolling viewers knew someone had to be thinking it. They didn't, you know.
I just truly don't see the enjoyable factor of it, and I don't see the comedy in it. But maybe it's because I like comedy and not. It's like watching middle schoolers have an improv troupe.
Are you putting too much of your dislike for Gargano behind it?
I wouldn't say I'm putting too much of it. I think he's got too big of an influence on it.
Okay.
It's not like a predetermined, like, hey, it has to do with Gargano, therefore. It's these people are coming to written by Gargano. These people seem too coached by Gargano. This sounds like Gargano and is not Gargano.
Yeah.
Let's see. Splinter Fox coming through. Cheers, Splinter Fox. Good to have you. Good to have you back. We're going to be at SummerSlam, so you should tune in and watch SummerSlam. Kiro says, I shut my TV off and turned it back on right as they did the dumb proposal thing. The ring was a damn eyeball. Yeah. Fabtina says, so awful for me. I was hoping this wasn't leading to a damn wedding. Kiro says, Wade Barrett's reaction sold it. What the hell is happening? Beth says, we have a wedding to plan, Wade. Dear God, you have to be kidding me. LOL, Wade. Wade is awesome. Yeah, when I watched it, I was like, fuck me. Like, I can't believe they left that in there for you, Klump. Because that whole segment could have been replaced by Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. And this didn't move that story along in any way that couldn't have been wrapped up in 30 seconds next week for you anyways.
Well, and honestly, I seriously fucking hate Frankie and Monet and how I see them put her out.
Yes.
I don't see the segments of her doing stuff. I just see, and I'm not saying this to be shitty, is I see a person wrestling in the Divas era
Yes.
in the worst ways, in the most sexualized, shitty ways. And I'm like, huh, that's really weirdly cut. And it's just bad.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay.
I agree.
I really wish that, I'd like to see him and him as in Morrison, Johnny, insert your name, and and Frankie go back to the Indies, because honestly,
they were better there.
They were a lot better there. And I mean, unless you're gonna get Universal to make Boone the Bounty Hunter Part 2, but I do love that movie. By the way.
Okay.
I'm not joking. I mean, that movie, he wrote it, he produced it. It was really good. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was going to be good. I just haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, you have to see it. Oh my God. Because I remembered he had asked me, like, when it came out, he goes, "Oh, did you see it?" And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "What? No?" So I finally saw it. And when I saw it, I told him, I go, "Fuck, dude, that was amazing."
Yeah.
I mean, he got Kevin Sorbo in the movie. I mean, come on.
I got you. Splinterbox does say, "Thanks for the offer, but I'm good. At least watch the Goldberg match." I'm just kidding, man. I was messing with you. Jeremy says, "It just seems like an unnecessary giant leap in the storyline. They go from making out in the ring to dating to proposal. Compared to modern day relationships, that's 2 weeks of dating before a proposal. Like, I mean, best case, we're talking this. I mean, fucking trash. I don't know. Did the breakout tournament show up over there? Carmella Hayes versus Duke Hudson? Klump?
Yes, that was there.
What'd you think of that?
Decent, not bad.
I liked Wade on commentary for this one. I liked the way he was putting over Duke Hudson real strong, and I think
He was
Carmella.
trying,
yeah.
Carmelo looked badass, but Carmelo, like, basically you needed to. He's so good, you needed more or less Wade to make the other person seem relevant.
Yes. There's something about Carmelo Hayes that just screams star.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The idea of him against Odyssey Jones, I think, is actually a great pairing that I'm super excited for.
Yeah, I really wasn't at first. It really wasn't sold on Odyssey Jones at first, but now he's kind of coming around to me. But yeah, this would be good.
Nice. Yeah. I loved the match in general. Did they have the Dakota Kai Raquel Gonzalez video package?
Yeah.
Or promo? What'd you think of that?
Terrible.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Didn't like either side or one side, or?
It felt bland and shitty. Like, it didn't feel like it felt heated to me at points, but I don't know. It felt there's specific things like that was stupid as fuck to say. Like I don't know. Like there's an in line that I was just like, ugh, eye roll. Yeah. Like where they were like, I went there or you went there, and that was just like, I don't care about this. I don't generally. I get cautious when I see, like, sometimes I feel like we throw random Spanish words. Like if a wrestler is Latino, they throw random Spanish words in the sentences that you would not do in a natural manner of speaking.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And it lands weird to me because it doesn't really hit it doesn't hit in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, natural. It just kind of like sticks out. Like, I couldn't write a great promo, but this will dice it up, or this will add to it. And it doesn't really do that. It's just like, okay, like it's like it would be so weird if like not like when Asuka or Shinsuke have done promos in Japanese and switched around. It would be like if in the middle of a promo they just said like a word in Japanese and kept going, and you're like, the fuck,
Well, I mean, I'll give you. I mean, and too, we've been around enough people who speak Spanish and English. Sometimes some people will throw in a word here and there.
Yeah, but it's more.
It's not always forced.
Yes, it felt forced. That's more
Yeah.
what I mean there.
Yeah. It just didn't seem as natural of a way you might do it. That makes sense, and it's interesting too, because supposedly, and because I only say that because I just have no idea, I've heard that they've seen WWE has seen a decline in Hispanic viewership, and so they're trying to figure out ways to bring that in. And I wonder if some of that is, well, if we have somebody who speaks Spanish, can we have them like use some Spanish just to kind of appeal? And if you force it, and it comes off forced. If you just tell them talk more naturally and they just do it, then that's different. So just kind of interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Real quick, I think that's where Santos has like a perfect balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Santos is the best representation of like you can use culture in a really positive way, and even when he had mariachis like in the ring, it didn't feel forced to me.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like,
Who
oh
doesn't-
God, here we go. You gotta have
But who doesn't love
mariachis
mariachi?
like the Mexican.
God damn it.
No, it felt like here's like really prideful group of like their culture, and it's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like I, as like a Chicana, I was like, hell yeah, like this dude gets it.
Yeah.
They are so great with their design and their outfits. Like
Other
I
gears,
love, I
oh.
love that. I love just how they represent themselves. It doesn't feel like it's mocking their culture
Or forced.
Yeah.
Or a stereotype. It feels genuine somehow.
Well, like
yeah.
Thunder Rosa is
Like Thunder Rosa.
there's
Exactly.
there's an embracing characterization of elements of Mexican culture or Mexican American culture that's fantastic there. This felt just a little like it felt a little bit like 2 steps off.
Yeah, and I mean, and even with Thunder, when she cuts her promos, she'll break out into a Spanish line or two, and then get back to it and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, that all makes sense, to be honest. I thought, like, when you said that you thought it was terrible, I didn't think it was terrible, but I did think that it was a little flat because it felt like two friends pretending to be mad at each other. They didn't feel like real heat there at all.
Yes, yeah, that as well.
And it felt like it didn't move the story any further. I feel like that once she kicked Raquel, we've been in a holding pattern, and they haven't done or said much. Apart from that one video vignette right after, they haven't done or said much outside of that felt like this is a progression of intensity. It felt like a static portrayal of, okay, let's go pretend to be mad, and how do mad people look, I'll do that. Like, it didn't feel like it came from an actual place of anger or anything like that. So I hear you there. I hear you there for sure. I'm into the chat. It's been blowing up a little bit. Let's see. Kiro says, I don't know why, but Barrett's reaction to Index has me thinking this is what causes him to get back in the ring for even just one match. I don't understand that at all. I don't see him wrestling Dexter Lumis for this at all. I feel like that his character would give no shits. I could see his reaction to Duke Hudson being more of an introduction to Wade Barrett in there, because he's talking about himself being a big influence on Duke, and I could see Duke saying, dude, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
And I could see Wade being like, come on, man, you model yourself after me, it's obvious. And I could see that becoming a thing where they could potentially have a match. I would see that before I'd see the other one. Let's see, and as we go through there, hot take by Grim Reaper, the NXT Breakout Finals is going to steal the show. I don't know, man. That's a hard one to say on this one. That takeover, we have Odyssey Jones and Carmelo Hayes. We have Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross. We have LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. We have, wasn't there an MSK match in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Against who?
Imperium?
Imperium?
No.
Yeah.
We already had Imperium.
No.
I mean, we have Swerve and Santos. Like, there's some fucking great matches. Oh, Ilya and Walter. You know what I mean? Like, it's really tough, man, because any single one of these matches could be a main event of any other pay-per-view. So it's really hard to say which one's going to steal the show here. And then Kiro says, Dakota Kai didn't even look like Dakota Kai because of the lighting. Yeah, she looked weird. She definitely looked weird. And then Jeremy says, I prefer Carmelo winning the tournament, but Odyssey is so charismatic, he gets me hyped up to see him no matter how underdeveloped and green he might be. I don't know who to pick on this one. I think they both are so phenomenal. Kiro says, wait, so Klump is saying who also never liked Alberto Del Rio promos. He also never liked Alberto. No, he's not. He's saying he doesn't like people being forced to speak Spanish in awkward ways. He prefers people who break into Spanish in a more natural fashion.
I'll go further into this. Like there are superstars where, and yeah, I align with like producer. There are times where Spanish does break into English. When somebody speaks Spanish as their first language, it happens. It's just the way that we're brought up, you know, and certain words have certain meanings or stuff like that. It's like when I'm talking and suddenly I say like I come up on a city that's in Mexico or in like a Latin American country, I'm not gonna say it with an anglicized pronunciation. I'm just gonna, as I do, pronounce it, you know, the way I do. I'm not gonna say Hermosillo. I'm gonna say Hermosillo.
Yeah.
Or Culiacan. I'm gonna say Culiacan. You know, just because Spanish is my first language, and I grew up in Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
But and there are superstars where they do things like that. Rey Mysterio's done it. Eddie Guerrero's done it where they mix Spanish and English. There've been other examples. I'm
Damian Priest does it pretty well. I feel.
Yeah. Fucking Proud and Powerful.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of but they do mix in because they're Puerto Rican. They mix in that there. This felt forced. When you say I'm a super estrella, and I'm like, that's nobody says it. It's not a natural manner of putting it, nor is it a statement that is meant for emphasis. It's not like I'm going to say something to you in Spanish for a particular reason, other than, well, I don't want to just say superstar, I'll add this. And it landed weird. Also, I don't like Alberto Del Rio, but that's also just because he's a shit person.
Yep, I knew that too. I was making sure to veer the question actually into the content so we could avoid Alberto Del Rio at all costs, because I think we all agree he's a piece of shit. So, it's like, but just to clarify, 100%, man, I love it. Yeah. Jeremy does bring up a good point. Tournament finals is actually next week on TNT, and says, but he would personally have put the finals on TakeOver. Doesn't understand why it's not. Probably because it's so fucking stacked. They want, I think, the breakout thing to steal the show. But I think when you have Walter, Ilya, and you have the ones we just listed, like, it's going to be tough. And I think they want to give them everything they can to make sure they shine the most. Because you have a bunch of amazing A-list superstars and performers on TakeOver who are going to put it all out there. It's probably very fair to Carmelo and Odyssey to be like, we're not going to put that kind of pressure on you to have to outshine all these people who are at this high level, especially at a breakout thing. Not that they can't get there and won't be there, but that's a huge hurdle. That is a huge hurdle. I mean, even though we've already said we're not going to dig it, like Kyle and Adam Cole, like it or not, most of their fan base is all hyped up for that one. So, yeah, put them on NXT so they can get the proper shine they deserve. I agree with that. And then Splinter Fox does say, I love Thunder Rosa and Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. Great reputation of the Latino and Latina culture. We'll always watch them. They rep my race so good. Yeah. No, if you like them, that's good, man. Fabtina, surprised that TakeOver isn't in Vegas. I don't know why they're doing the thing they're doing. It's going to be in the CWC. And Kuro says, I get it. I get it. Forced insert language rather than naturally slipping into using it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost like they would have said, hey, can you say superstar in Spanish, but like not exactly. Like, how would you actually say superstar?
In Spanish?
Yeah.
Fucking superstar.
Wouldn't it be? Right? I didn't think there was like a...
It's an idiomatic expression in English.
Yeah.
Just use the fucking idiomatic expression in English.
Right?
You might say like something like luchador.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
It's
because Estrella is a star, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't say like that's because that's such a weird. It's not even how anyone would. That's separating the words. Yeah. You wouldn't say it in English that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's like, to me. So okay, another way, like he threw it out there. It's like when you watch somebody, like when I got family from Maine coming down and visiting, or they're talking about, Southern Arizona or stuff like that, and they make little, like they try and sound like say things in a colloquial manner, and it sounds so fucking weird.
Yeah.
like, ooh, we're gonna go, like, this just weirdly trying to like add to it. Like, it doesn't do anything other than, I mean, just to me, it's like, oh, cool, I get it, you're Hispanic, that like, or you're Latino. That's what we're trying to do here. Good job. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, 100%. No, I get it. I mean, because that's even. I mean, at that point too, can you say superstar in Spanish? How would you say that? You would just say superstar.
Yeah.
Well, could you break it up? Like, how would you say super in Spanish? Probably like super. Well, how what's the word star? Like, I mean, it sounds like they forced her to figure out a way to use Spanish as superstar when you wouldn't. Like, and that's what I mean. That's what we're getting at, and I get that, and we don't need to beat it down forever. Like how would you say dead horse? Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Spinner Fox does say, "Oh, Diamante, she's awesome too. That match she had with Julie was amazing." Go ahead.
Yeah,
let's see.
forgot about that.
We did have. Let's see. Walter tells Fabian and Marcel the show's gonna get them the goal back they deserve. Imperium goes out there. MSK and Imperium. Yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, to me, I loved it. And then the aftermath, Walter comes out, Dragunov comes out, and fights off. I think you call it beats off Walter.
No, he doesn't say. No one says that.
That's how it was, a beating, and at Walter, he beat off Walter. And
he did not
what?
beat off Walter.
Ilya definitely beat off Walter in this interaction. That's why he had that shit on his eye.
I missed Ilya beating off Walter. Damn it.
Did that get cut? Did that get cut?
No.
Must have. Did you get the MSK match on Hulu? Klump?
I got the match. I was making a joke about, like, wait,
I
missed it.
Yeah.
No.
What'd you think of the match? MSK and Imperium.
Decent. I didn't like that it was a schmoz, but I mean, also in that same vein, one schmoz is a show and not in the main event, and reasons behind it and building it up where everything made sense worked for me, versus let's have a schmoz and bring everyone out, and it's just like this was cool because it was layered. It was a schmoz for MSK, and then also like Ilya and Walter built up two stories, which made sense to me, versus just a schmoz.
100%. This did feel like two intertwined stories, separate. So in that regard, I really liked it. I was really impressed by Imperium here, and I think every time I see them, I am. But yeah, I mean, MSK, like, fucking Christ, those guys are so good. And this, I felt they did a really good job up until the schmoz. They did a fantastic job of almost exaggerating their differences in styles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they did it in such a way where it's all like, oh yeah, MSK is like flippy, high flyy, kind of like a lot of movement, and Imperium's very much like grounded, bring it down, technical. And I felt like MSK was more high energy than ever. I felt like they were doing so much to kind of like accentuate the idea that we move fast and we flip high, you know?
Wait.
Huh?
Twitch just asked me if I wanted to accept Jeremy's comment. Because he said beat off Walter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, Jeremy's right. He saw it. He totally beat him. Totally beat off Walter. 100%.
Twitch didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Twitch said, is this okay? And we're like, yeah, we're just talking wrestling. But yeah, anything else there other than these 6 guys should be in a bunch of matches eventually?
Yeah.
Let's see. Pete Dunne put over how... What the fuck? Oh, Pete did a little Pete Dunne package there where he talks about Rich Holland.
Are you talking about Pete Dunne's package?
Yeah, Pete Dunne's little package put over a dangerous Rich Holland.
There will be no Pete Dunne shame here.
There's no shame. No shame at all. And then Samoa Joe comes out. Samoa Joe says he's going to put his thumb up in Karrion Kross.
No, he didn't say that.
Yeah, he did.
Why are you going down this horrible downward spiral?
What are you talking about, downward spiral? I'm just reading my notes of the show.
They're horrible.
But, no, I don't see Joe doing that, but...
Prove me wrong.
Oh, God.
What? You don't see Joe doing that? He's going to sit on top of Karrion Kross and thumb him. That's how he's called a Samoan submission machine. You think he's never slipped a thumb once or twice?
What, in
Yeah.
someone's booty?
Look.
Mm.
Look, I'm not getting that detailed. I'm just saying Samoa Joe's going to thumb Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross comes out there and says, I wish you would. And there's all the security guys there. And then Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross beat each other off all over the ring. They start blowing out all over the set. The set's breaking, smashing. They
Oh
end
my
up
God.
in a
They might
heap
get
of
outside
flesh.
and they might get outside and it turns into some fisting.
Yep, there's fists fisting each other in the face.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah,
Wait.
100%. It ends in a big heap of man just breathing and grunting, and they're holding their face with sweat. And they're like,
Oh my God. Oh.
What?
the-
That's.
Why am I hard?
This is how we lose people.
Oh my
I'm just talking wrestling. I don't understand what's going on.
God. Okay. Let me ask producer lady a question. So,
Splinter
when I
Fox
talk about
says,
movies in wrestling,
yeah.
I don't go that off the deep end, right? Or am I wrong?
What was the question?
Oh, when I talk about butts,
Yeah.
wrestling butt, I don't think I go off the deep end like y'all were doing just now. Am I
So
right?
Amanda's asking you about when she talks about butts. She doesn't think it's as bad as what we do when we just talk wrestling. So she thinks she'd be allowed to say booty as much as she wants.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, you get the pass now. You get producer pass.
Yeah,
Yes.
All I know
Yes!
is I need a cigarette right now.
Yeah.
I
Secret
found-
so bad.
More.
Splinter Fox just said, I picked the right time to stop watching NXT. That's pretty funny. He's all like, what the fuck
Yeah.
just happened? And Jeremy says, that pretty much summed up what happened. What'd you think about this, dude? Klump? What'd you think about the Cross and Samoa Joe face-to-face?
It's a big fight thing. Cool.
It looked intense. It looked intense.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm curious to I'm curious to see where it goes because
Yeah.
I like the idea of Joe getting the belt. But Cross needs it. I know we're supposed to treat them as isolated brands.
Yeah.
But I can't do that, and Cross needs this win because he's lost over and fucking over. Well,
On Raw.
and he's not
But-
looking great.
Right, but if he loses to Samoa Joe, he's not losing to just a developmental guy on the come up. He's losing to established Samoa Joe, who nearly choked out Brock Lesnar. So if he's got to lose the title, I feel like Joe's the way to go because it's hey,
Yeah, who else?
yeah, who else has the credibility of Joe that if he goes to Raw and says, well, yeah, I lost the title, but I'm here now. I don't even want to think about it. And they're like, well, who do you lose it to? And you go, Samoa Joe. People go, shit, Samoa Joe? Like,
Oh, Joe.
you say Johnny Gargano, and people are like, fucking what? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Keith Lee lost the title to Adam Cole, and I was like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
But, like, the Samoa Joe, who's more legitimate than Joe? I think it's the safest way to get the title off Cross and protect the idea of his aura, as no matter how much they're fucking it up right now. Because I agree with you. He's had a lot of bad losses. I don't think this is the end of Cross, though. I do think that they can build him into something. And I think that if the footnote of him losing the NXT title was to Samoa Joe, of all people, that no one's going to bat an eye and think, like, well, that's pretty shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know. Like, that's just like my thoughts of it. Like, it'll be good either way. They're gonna put on a fantastic match, but yeah,
Yeah. No, I get you. I am feeling like it's a win-win for fans just because
Yeah.
whoever wins is a good move.
Yeah.
Kuro does say NXT booked themselves into a corner by having them beat the top 4 guys all at once.
Yeah, that match shouldn't have been like that.
Yeah, that was that. Spinner Fox does say he could just hand over the title and say, I don't have any more to prove here, and head to Raw for good. I think there's only so much you can do of having people hand over the titles, and I do think that there's with as new school as NXT is, I think there's a lot of old school sensibilities there, and I do think that there is a, quote, leave the territory better than you found it, and put over the territory on the way out, and I think all that stuff is there, and I think that's part of the training there is to get at least a taste of what territory days were like, And you don't hand over the NWA title on your way out. You lay down and lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lay down and take it, and he finishes on your face.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I think that they're doing is because we're so far removed from the territory. I feel like part of NXT is to be like, can we give them just a taste of some of those little things? And I think that's one of those little things.
Taste of some of those big guys.
Yeah, some of those big guys. Spinnerfox says the only one who has done that was Asuka. I don't think that's true. I feel like a few people have vacated that title. I feel like the NXT title has been vacated a couple times. But I don't know. But I think also the idea is that they don't want to do that in general. Like I said, I think they wanted to make it old school. You lose on the way out. You put that title back on somebody else. Kiro does say, does Cross strike you as the type of guy who would just give up a title? He's still got... Oh, well, that's true, too. Just from a character standpoint.
No.
It's mine, motherfucker. He would hijack that title, if nothing. If nothing else, he'd be on Raw for fucking 4 years with the title if you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's true, too.
Yeah.
His character's a bit crazy. Kiro does say, he's still got to okay his character even when leaving. Or Olay's character? Oh, he's still got to play his character even when leaving. Yeah. His character I don't think would do that either. Just being like, here, I've done my duties. I think he'll lay it down. And then he says, Spinner Fox does say, or let Kushida beat him off for the title. Kushida is a beast. Yeah. I mean, I don't think Kushida beating him was better than Joe. I think Joe's the way to go with it. If Karrion Kross has to lose the title, I think Joe's the most protective way to do it. I actually think Joe should be the champion for like the next 2 years, and everyone should get up to the point of having 1 or 2 matches with Joe, and then they just get called up after that. They just don't do it, and then they move on. Like, I think that would be sick if Joe was just all like, no, I'm the baddest motherfucker here, like always. And everyone just goes, fuck it, I'm going to Raw. Yeah. But that's that. Klump, I enjoyed the final segment, though, just because it did seem brutal. Like you said, what I like about it, too, is it showed 2 dudes who can't contain themselves and just beat each other off over everywhere. And once it gets to time being in the ring, I think you also have 2 guys who strictly follow the rules within those confines. Here's 2 dudes who can't wait to beat shit out of each other, but are also recognizing and respectful of the method of which they have to do it. They know when they're just there's no match, there's no rules. I think what's going to be really cool is the dichotomy of them here and then them in TakeOver, where they're going to be following the rules and being like, no, I'm here to best you, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Klump?
Yeah, I get that. I think...
But I get you. It was pretty simple what it was. But.
Yeah. But done well. But done very well.
Kira does say you have Walter and Cross lose their titles at TakeOver, and then you start building Walter versus Joe. Kira does say, quick, we need some butt talk.
Oh, we do. Yes, we do. Actually, since we're on the topic of NXT. Yeah.
Huh?
I think,
Did Amanda see Cena's new movie?
Oh, did you see the Suicide Squad? No, she said no.
No, I have not.
It's
yet.
amazing.
It's fantastic.
I have to.
And
Tidy whities. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, but like I told you guys, Fast and Furious 9 or whatever. That's the first thing you see of Cena is you see his ass.
Yeah. No, that's how most movies should start. Most movies should start with Cena, but
whoever was the camera guy or whatever, director cinematography, they knew. They did their homework.
We've seen your work with Lacey Evans. We have a job for you.
Yes.
There you go. Well, I will say, if you want booty talk, I think the best booty on NXT belongs to one Wesley, because it's
Wesley does have a pretty poppin' booty. That's
he
a good
does.
Point. That's a good point. I'll give you that.
He does. Yeah, he's pretty top shelf when it comes to booty.
Yeah, it's a specimen for sure. I feel like when James Gunn had his first meeting with Cena and he walked out, he just turned to everybody who was in the room and go, "You see that guy's ass? Like, we got to put that in the movie, right?" I think that's probably how that went.
Wasn't Cena's ass like all like ass in that movie with Amy Schumer?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm solved definitively. 100%.
Yes.
Spinner Fox does say, glad I didn't see the new Fast and Furious then. Spinner Fox, come on, man.
He was wearing a suit, man.
Come on, man. He's
Wearing
in a suit.
One thing that was
It
cool, I want to
nice
throw this
suit,
Yeah,
too.
go ahead, Klump.
It was, yeah.
out of Suicide Squad. So James Gunn did an interview, and he really highlighted and gave a lot of praise to John Cena's ability to improvise. I'm like, yeah, that makes fucking sense.
That's cool.
That's what he's done for so long as a wrestler. But it was really cool to hear it because it's getting that recognition, you know?
Yeah, that's
But-
cool. That is cool. Well, we do have TakeOver this weekend on Sunday. Tomorrow we got SmackDown. Saturday we got SummerSlam. It's going to be a good week for us who like the good stuff in wrestling. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just messing with everybody. I'm just messing around. But we are going to be in Phoenix for SmackDown. So me and Kevlar, the podcasting duo known as the Ironics, are going to join up at a bar live, but not live to tape. We're doing live to tape. We discovered there's going to be an internet issue, so we are going to be recording it from a bar and posting it immediately thereafter as a pre-game, pre-show for SummerSlam and SmackDown, and talk about our excitement of it. And so it's going to be a live to tape episode of Wrestling on the Rocks Friday special, and so come back tomorrow for that. It's going to be on YouTube and podcasting platforms exclusively. I don't think we're going to be able to make it on Twitch, at least not for a few days, just because of our restrictions we're going to have. So probably not till Monday or Tuesday will the Friday show actually end up on Twitch. But until then, you'll be able to check it out on YouTube, check it out on podcast. So find us, give us the likes, the subs, all the things. Klump, is there anything I missed about NXT that you wanted to make sure you got a chance to say?
I'm good.
You're good. Amanda, was there anything about AEW, final thoughts that you thought that we missed that you really wanted to say?
Yeah, Ricky Starks is great ass.
Yeah, that's a good point. I cannot fault you there.
I need to I've had that booty talk. Okay.
Yeah. Grim Reaper does say young champion. And Splinter Fox says GCW Off the Rails is this weekend as well. Can't wait.
Yes.
Splinter Fox, watch it and know that Sam Stackhouse, whoop, whoop, is our boy, #1 fan. Go to his pro wrestling tees. .com/ I think it's Sam Stackhouse, one word. If you look up Sam Stackhouse just in the search, you'll find it. Check out the shirts for him. He's one of our guys. He's going to be there. And also check out ours, ProWrestlingTees.com/Wrestling on the Rocks for all of our shirts. WrestlingOnTheRocks.com for all of our links, all of our shirts. You got the Pointless Aggression right there. And you guys have some Wrestling on the Rocks episode 1 shirts coming your way pretty soon. Kuro does say, and now I need to figure out how to find Marsh at SummerSlam. 100%. I'm going to be wearing... Oh, wait. I don't know yet. SummerSlam, I don't know if I'm going to wear the belt or not. Should I wear the belt to SummerSlam too?
Where are you sitting?
I should? Okay.
I think I'll be wearing one of the shirts, one of our shirts.
One of the shirts? Yeah, I'm going to be wearing this title as I walk around SmackDown. I'll do it for SummerSlam too, just for you, Kuro.
SmackDown, I'll wear Mysterio's, and then...
Yeah, and then SummerSlam, you'll wear ours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll be around. You can, find us on Twitter and send us a message. I do get alerts on Twitter, not on the other ones. Sprinter Fox does say FSW versus GCW this weekend. Can't wait. And Suzuki's coming back to GCW soon. Can't wait. Yep, we're going to go to the LA show. He's going to be at 2 LA shows, so we're going to figure out which one we're going to go, but we will go to one.
I'll be there.
At the LA show?
Well, yeah, I'll go to one of them. I don't know which one yet. But,
we're looking at going to the one on the 17th is the one we're looking at now, but
well,
we'll talk about it more.
17th, yeah, I'll look at that.
Yeah.
But also this weekend, speaking of GCW, I'm really kind of excited for this match they just added the other day, which is Dark Sheik of Hood Slam fame versus Jimmy Lloyd. I love me some goddamn Jimmy Lloyd. That motherfucking kid is a different kid.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
Awesome.
So check it out, everybody. Stay tuned to all that stuff and come back and have a drink with us. But for now, I think we're getting close to last call. So, guys, I am at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. With me for Thursday Night Chasers, as per the usual, we got Crybaby Klump. We got at Miss Amanda Jane with a Y. Come back next week. Come back tomorrow for our tape to live. Come back next Wednesday and every day after. Put us in your notifications so you can know when the bar is open here at the dive bar of the IWC.
Also find us on YouTube because we need the subscription.
Yeah, we really need those YouTube subs, dude. We're trying to get that custom URL. So, guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
People go do it.
Yeah, have people go do it. We need to get to 100, and we're below that. It's our lowest followed platform of everything we have. It's
Really?
Just, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
We even post exclusive stuff to YouTube, and no one notices. So it is what
Wow. Oh,
But
shit.
it is what it is, guys. We are at Wrestling on the Rocks. Thank you for having a drink with us in episode 1. Come back next week right here in the dive bar of IWC. Guys, that's the last call.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.